You there, Stuart?
Sulla, can you hear me, buddy?
Yes, sir.
There he
Yes,
is. Fantastic. How are we, buddy?
absolutely brilliant. And yourself?
Good. Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. Thank you very much indeed. Right, here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Welcome. We are live for the 2v2 Pangea Tourney. It's the match 15. It's whatever versus Lessthanthree. It's going to be all rounds tonight. They're playing all rounds. It's best of 3, so we could indeed see 3 matches, ladies and gentlemen. So, what do you reckon? What's your thoughts?
Well, the stakes are a bit higher, aren't they? Because this is the first proper knockout. Now, if you're a loser like me or a winner like Stuart in the last round, it didn't matter because you were going to go into the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket. And now this time the stakes are a bit higher because if you're out, you're out. However, I can't really make a good guess on who's going to win this one because both teams played so well last time. So just to quickly introduce the teams to you guys, we've got Whatever with K1, who's about a mid-1700 rated player. He's one of the best players in the tournament. And I don't know if you guys watched the last game, but I mean, Stuart, you're going to back me up on this one. It was a pretty insane set, wasn't it? K1 played his heart out.
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable. And do you know what? I've watched it back 2 times. I've watched it back 2 times. It helps, right? It helps your own play. You know, when you jump on New Year's Day morning and have a game, you're like, I remember what he did. I'm going to give that a go. It was
The heroics of K1 will stay with us forever.
exactly that. I mean, the back and forth, and not just K1. I mean, you've got to give it to them. I know they're out now. Well, they're not out. They're in the losers bracket. They can have a second chance to bring it all back. But Dave and the dog. Wow.
Yeah, an insane set all around. And we've got Eamsy in the team as well, who, like you said, was another kind of key tool to the whole incredible late game in that third game of the set. So they're in Whatever.
Yeah.
And Eamsy, as I forgot to mention, is about 850, 900 elo player. And on the other team, Lessthanthree in letters, not symbols. We've got Abu, who is a 1530 rated player, so definitely on the higher end in this tournament. And then we've got a random catch-up who's only just started playing. So currently he's rated 900 to 1,000. But I was actually talking to one of his opponents in the last game, Smiley, and she was telling me about how he was actually a little bit better than maybe what his elo suggests. So definitely keep your eye on him on this matchup.
I will confirm that he is a good little player. I believe he's all the way from Australia. Is that right?
Sounds about right to me. I have no idea what the time is going to be over there, but
yeah,
hopefully it's
dedication,
not too early or late.
Dedication,
Sure.
wherever they are. Dedication, New Year's Day as well. So, all right. Well, look, let's not wait. No further ado and all that. Let's get straight into it then. So, obviously you can see on the screen now. The players. You can see what map they've gone for as well. And Sulla, this is making me giggle. Crater Lake. I've not played it.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, Stuart. I did actually have to research this before we started. It's probably not a map that most of us have played, but it is an interesting one. I'd actually have played it before, but it has been lost in the back of my mind. And when we hop in, I'm going to try and do my best.
It's all going to come back, I'm sure. It's all going to come back, most definitely. All right, well, look, let's get cracking. Let's not leave it any longer. If you are in this Twitch and you are watching, please don't forget to hit that follow button. It gives us support. Share it with your friends as well. It all helps. And of course, if you do play Age of Empires, don't forget to hit us up. Maybe join the crew and head over to the ever-growing Discord community, which is good. Cool. Okay, let's go, Sulla. Let's load this. We're going to do it with Spectate CA this time, so hopefully it should run a bit smoother. Now we've got those mods added and stuff like that. So any hiccups, please do bear with. But let's get it kicked off straight away, shall we?
We're moving up from 600 elo streamers to 700 elo streamers. All right.
Yeah.
You guys proud of us yet?
What a way to put it. What a way to put it.
Stuart, very unprofessionally, could you stream on Discord just so I've got an up-to-date version?
Of course I can. No problem at all. Give my machine more things to think about. I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's get these set up and we will be right on with the show. Okay, we are in. Ladies and gentlemen, we can only apologise about that. Capture Age just decided to be Capture Age. But we are in. So let's just real quickly. We are going to change the settings that we need to change, guys. Let's get this done. Here we go. The joys, Sulla, right? The joys.
I know I said we were 700 elo. I've knocked that down to 650. I'm sorry. We actually planned this one as well. We prepared and
exactly that. But look, let's get right into it. Here we go. Let's kick it off, shall we?
Right. So let's have a look at this map, shall we?
Wow, what an interesting map.
Yeah, it's not something that you play every day. It's generally not on the rank ladder, and that's why it deserves a bit of an explanation. So you're actually located quite far away from your teammate. There is a land bridge that connects the entire map, as you can see on the minimap. But quicker travel by the lake is often necessary. And as you can see, the sides are quite thin, so to wall the map is quite easy. And you can also wall quite early. However, with the transport ship, you can get around that quite easily. So there's always going to be a tactic that people are going to employ if they've done a bit of practice. Starting resources are standard. So your standard 8 sheep or 6 cows, gold mines, berries, 2 boars, and 3 deer. So nothing too different from your standard Arabia. But the big difference is actually an island in the middle of the map. Now that's going to be where a vast stockpile of gold is. So if you're going to get control of that map early on, you're going to have a big advantage in the game. However, there is a lot of wolves or lizards or lions, whatever you want to call them, on this map. So if you're going to send villagers
there's 9 in the middle right there, Sulla.
Yeah. So if people haven't played this map before, we might be seeing some...
Don't send one Don't send one villager. Yeah.
And
lovely.
Before you ask, nobody is playing as the Magyars who have that bonus where their villagers actually rotate wolves. So there's not going to be any cheating on this game, and hopefully we're going to have some funny incidents.
Brilliant. Sulla, tell us about the teams then. So who have we got?
So yeah, like I mentioned, we've got whatever. We've got K1 and Eamsy. So K1's going to be playing as the Italians, which is a great choice for this map. So there's a lot of fish on this map. It's really necessary to do a dock. If you don't do a dock, you're going to be really behind on the eco. Italians are great for this because their ships are slightly stronger. And their fishing ships are also a bit stronger.
And look at the fish resource. Sorry to cut you off, but I mean, look at that, right? You know, you're going to get some decent booming economy behind with if you can control the water, right?
Yes, absolutely, and that's why in feudal age we're definitely going to see some aggression on the water. We're going to see some fire ships out early, I imagine. Now, Vikings on the Lessthanthree team are one of the strongest water civs for sure. They also have an insane on-land economy with free-wheel burrow and handcart. However, they don't get fire ships in feudal age, so they're going to have to mass up their galleys before they're going to be able to take on the fire ships from the other team, especially the Italian ones, which are quite strong. You've also got Persians, which is a very strong water civ, because they're harbours. They're not even called harbours, are they, Stuart? Terrible. Docks.
They are over here. They are over here, Sulla.
And Lithuanians, not necessarily known for their specific water bonuses. However, they do get the extra starting food, which is a great economy bonus. And it also means they can send slightly more villagers to wood or slightly less villagers to food, which can improve their water economy. So I think all the civs chosen are really good choices, but I think K1 and Eamsy might have a slight water advantage in feudal. I'm going to see if that's
Perfect. And that's just purely based on the civs that they are, right?
Exactly. They're going to have 2 civs with fire ships. That might work a bit better than having one with galleys. Not because galleys are necessarily bad, but I think at this level, not many of the players in this channel are playing on water maps. So actually, this is going to be maybe one of the first times in this tournament that we've seen water maps, or it might be the first time.
Yeah, it could be the only one. You never know. But look at that K1 already coming out with fire ships there. What do you make of that, Sulla?
It's a great choice, and if he's going to pick up some early fishing ships, it could do us some serious eco damage. And like I said, if you're going to be getting that castle or that TC in the middle first, you're going to have a huge economy advantage as well.
He's going straight for the fishing ships, as you said. I mean, look at that! He's pulled out 2 fire ships. It's like Abu knows exactly how K1's going to play that.
The thing is, I think K1 is happy. Oh no, he is going for the fight, but he didn't actually manage to get a fishing ship, and Abu was actually playing this really well. He's actually repairing his fishing ships. So this is actually really well.
That's a first, I think. First for me seeing someone repairing fishing ships.
And it looks like the stronger ships from Italians is just going to work out. He's actually got he's going to have the advantage with 2 new ones coming out now, but Abu's keeping up production with the faster docks.
We've got a bit of attack coming in as well from Random Ketchup here over on the top side. So just to remind everyone again, this is a live quarter-finals. So we've already had 1 round. All to play for now in the quarter-finals, looking to get through to the semis. It's been an interesting tournament so far, that's for sure.
So just looking at the KD now. So Abu is on 4 kills, 4 losses. And Random Ketchup is also on 2 kills. Eamsy has lost 2, K1 has killed 3, lost 4. So it's looking like a slight advantage for the Lessthanthree3s, but nothing serious quite yet. It only takes 1 good fight for this all to flip on its head.
That's it. And we've seen that many a times, haven't we, Sulla?
Yes, we have, sir.
The last stream, I mean, wow, unbelievable back-to-back action. But cool, good stuff. All right, well, nice start from all the players so far then.
This looks like a really important fight, Stuart. I don't know who's going to win. It looks like K1's just pulling ahead in this fight. But the problem is he's right next to his production building, so every time I think K1's going to pull it, 2 new fire ships come out, and there's a great clean-up by Abu again. And now he's got 5 fire ships. Whoa.
We've also got Random Ketchup trying to put the pressure on to K1. So looks like, I mean, are they both applying that pressure to K1? I mean, we said it last game, didn't we? That you know, that looks like that's what needed to happen and didn't. So do you think they've watched the previous stream?
I think anyone who's in the channel knows that K1's one of the best players in here, and I think by watching the last stream and what he did with the Mongols, their strategy is going to be to focus especially on this fishing economy, because it's going to be much easier on this map, because it's so easy to warp tides to disrupt the fishing economy, not the land economy. And if you can destroy the opponent's fishing economy, you're going to have a huge advantage. And it looks like, look, they're playing this perfectly now. They've got the galleys and the fire ships. And K1 just can't fight this. And actually, I was wrong in what I was saying earlier. Eamsy is just not doing the fire ships. And I don't think there's any way K1 can take that fight.
Really concentrating on getting his walls down here. Just trying to give him that protection. So, I mean, do you think, I mean, Lithuanians, are they going to go for the boom? Are they going to...
Well, if each player's walled their sides, which it looks like they pretty much have, I don't think he has any choice. I think the correct thing to go for full boom, try and get his extra GCs up as soon as possible. But the problem is, Stuart, you can wall as much as you want, and you can't wall the entire coast. And if the other players get an advantage, they're going to be landing troops, or they're going to be sieging from the water. But if you don't have water control, there's nothing you can do about it. So getting up some castles to cover you near your docks is going to be really important when they hit castle exits. Yeah.
Second TC going down now from Amesy there.
Sure, I'm looking at the scores, and did you think it would be this one-sided already in the game?
It's their map, right?
It seems like a map that you would practice on, right? It's not a common one. We didn't even know what it was. So,
no. So, you know, you got to ask the question, you know, did Abu and Random Ketchup there, you know, throw this in to try and, you know, catch them off guard a bit?
Well, it seems like they're doing a really, really good job.
It does indeed. You know, he's really got K1 dominated on the water here. It's really going to affect his early boom.
Yeah, I think K1 looks like he's completely off water now, and I'm just looking at the villager statistics now. Lessthanthree are actually ahead by, what's this? 10 vills now, 10 vills, and that's huge at this point in the game. whatever, are actually down to one fishing ship now. It doesn't look. It looks like the water's pretty much lost already. Now, are Eamesy and K1 gonna have a good enough land economy to be able to bring this back? Is it going to be too easy to wall the sides? It seems so. It seems like you will need some sort of transport ship to get around those walls and do effective damage to the other land economies. And if you're off water this early, it just seems
you're gonna
like
struggle.
Exactly. I'm really seeing, not really seeing a way Eamesy and K1 can get back into this game, and the score shows it.
What do you think the conversations are internally?
Oh.
Would you like to be in the voice chat right now?
No, I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would, Mr. Stuart. Well, look, let's look at the positive. Eamesy is the first to Castle Age. He's got a second TC down. Looks like he's put a lot of villagers on stone. He's going to go for that castle. Hopefully he's going to put it near his water, and that'll be able to allow him to redock.
Yeah.
Is it a bit too late? We'll see.
I mean, look at this total domination on the coastline here.
Stuart, you can. We've all done it though. We've all sort of won our sort of our battle in a certain Age of Empires game, but sometimes we are all guilty of overcommitting to something and then actually losing the overall game. So there is that aspect.
I love how on the fence you are. You are high up on the fence all the time, Sulla, and I like it. It's great having you on.
I just don't want people to completely write off Eamesy and K1. It's going to be an uphill battle, but
well, look. I mean, look. They're trying, right? I mean, K1 with his second TC going down there after being a little bit behind from trying to push the water and not working out. Has it put him massively behind? I mean, he's.
You've got to look at the populations though, Stuart. Look at this. Big difference. 135 pop for Lessthanthree, and it's just 96 for whatever. Although granted, Lessthanthree have 38 military, which seems to be a bit of an overcommitment considering whatever are just on 4.
But still more vills.
True.
I mean, this as soon as these go up to Vikings, yes, they will. They'll have the what's the bombard cannons on the water? Galleons.
The cannon galleons.
Cannon galleons. And, I mean, if he gets to those, base is in a bit of trouble, right?
If the strat is to do a fast into chemistry and cannon galleons, yes, it could be very, very difficult for them.
Because again, look at the map. I mean, where are you going to go where you're untouched from? The water. I mean, it's back here, right?
I agree, and I think that's why it's really important that sooner rather than later, K1 need to get that coastal.
And look at the outpost from Abu, and maybe Abu realizes that. Maybe this is the strategy, Sulla.
It all seems very well pre-planned, Stuart. I think
keep
this
them
is
on the thin side of the map. Oh, look at this! Crater Lake could be a new favourite, guys. Welcome in, Blitz. Nice to see you in the stream there. I hope you enjoy the show, buddy. Okay, 26 minutes in. Everyone's at Castle Age. Have we got anyone clicked up yet? We haven't, have we?
Stuart, look at random catch-up's resources.
Yeah. Fast in. Fast.
It's
happening, isn't it?
It's looking like a fast in. But
just so you all know, this is a live stream, alright? This is live. We have not seen this, alright?
We promise. Mr. Stuart, could we just check random catch-up's buildings just to see if he has them to go to him?
Well, the university's going down, the monastery's going down, that man's going fast in, my friend. K1's putting a castle up in defence here to try and defend. Is he gonna look to get back on the water, do you think, Sulla?
But regardless if he goes back on water, Stuart, can castles defend against cannon galleons?
Wow, I think we're going to find out. Just waiting to see that click up to him now come from random catch up. He's there. I mean, he's there on the food. He's there on the gold. He can do it. His university's down. His monastery's down. When's he going to click up? Got to be any second now, surely.
Come on, Mr. Ketchup.
There it goes. There goes the imp click. Random Ketchup, ladies and gentlemen, is on his way up to Imperium at 29 minutes. This is turning into a game and a half. 1,000 now in the score difference. It's all to play for.
Stuart, do you feel like the whatever team are on a bit of a clog right now? With Ketchup going to him?
I think my only thing here is, you know, they've kind of destroyed K1's water ability, and then it looked like they shifted over to AMZ, and as a result of that, it looks like K1's been able to, you know, get that boom going, right? You know, he's protecting the rear of his base. I can't see him getting on water. I mean, look at this. Blitz totally right in the chat there. Nice control of map by ship patrol. Very true. Look at this. Just literally circling around that map. Yeah,
it's actually, not only have they taken them off water completely, but they've also prevented them from rebooking, and that's the most impressive thing. Like Blitz has mentioned, the fact that they've been able to patrol the whole lake for the entire game is testament that they've definitely practiced. So yeah, credit is due.
Credit where it's due, exactly that. It's exactly that. Okay, Random Ketchup selling loads of wood for gold. What does that tell us, Sulla?
I think what is coming seems very inevitable. I think a few cannon galleons end this game. But look, we've actually got a break in here.
Here we go.
Got a few knights in, and actually Ketchup has absolutely nothing to defend against this. And it looks like there's only 3 knights, 2 lightest, but it's going to do some damage. Is it going to be enough though, Mr. Stuart?
Well, this is interesting. I mean, I just quickly wanted to switch over to K1's base there. You know, maybe it's an internal conversation that's happened, and they've said, look, we need to push an attack now. We need to try and damage their back end, their resources a little bit, considering they just can't do anything off water. And yeah, look, K1 getting a little bit of an army going now. What are we at? 23 in terms of military. We know this 37 from Lessthanthree is all on water. You know, what are they going to do?
This is very true.
A castle in defence.
I don't think that castle is going to be going out with those knights around. However, Ketchup does have the ability to pull some of his galleons up and protect it.
And look at the quick walling there from a 900 player reload.
I think I'm getting a bit suspicious, Mr. Stuart. And you see that galleon upgrade coming straight in. Chemistry is going to be 30 seconds, and I think cannon galleons are going to be coming straight out.
Yeah.
And that castle's perfect. There's no way he's going to be breaking in anytime soon without trebs.
Exactly that. Again, from Blitz giving us some narrating in the chat. Their crazy map. How is the army going to move with castles at bottlenecks? Very true. Very true. You know, and I think this is where K1 and AMZ shine, right? You know, military pushing on the land. You know, it looks like they've totally given up with the water now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to compete, and their economies are just not geared up for water right now. You need more on wood and less on food, and to do that would take too long. I just want to sort of focus in on K1's push at the bottom of the map, because this is quite important. It's a really good castle. We've got 2 trebs on that castle there. I think Abu needs to do some skirmishes in defense. And look, just at the top of his castle, we've got 6 archery rangers coming out. So really well played by Abu, and those towers doing a great job giving him all the information and the time he needs to prepare a defense. So really well played there. Stuart, can you see what unit's coming out?
Yeah. Elite cannon galleons, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And, it does seem like whatever are going to really struggle now. And when those coastal castles go down, it's going to be really hard for them.
And that score, Sulla. I mean, look at that climbing out of control.
Yeah.
You know, not 15 ahead, 16, 17 ahead.
We're almost getting to 2,000 score difference right now, and that seems... It's a lot. It's a lot. However, we do have Elite Genery's crossbow coming in, and K1 is actually teching into light cav as well. So once you get that Italian late game going with combo cannons, Genery's crossbow, and then Hussar,
Forward castle.
it's very difficult. Forward castle could be very good. Takes out all of those archery ranges. Will he be able to get it up before those elite skirmishers start coming in? We will see. I think K1 needs to start adding in bombard cannons now, otherwise the skirmishers are going to be very difficult for those archers.
Let's see how we're getting back on with Random and Amesy. And I mean, look, it's paired up quite nicely, isn't it? The two lowest player elos are next to each other. The two highest player elos are next to each other. I wonder if the next game's going to pan out the same for them.
Yeah, this is very true. If anything, I prefer watching games like this rather than just one player getting stomped. It's nice to see an equal contest, but you can tell Random Ketchup's done a lot of preparation for this game, and it's really paid off for him. He's got those cannon galleons out now, and
he's going to start massing them. Yeah, here we go. We're going to see some action at the top side, 100%. It's going to be interesting to see what Amesy does, whether he backs off to this area here or not. I mean, again, is that enough reach from the shoreline for those elite cannons?
It's not, unfortunately. I think the way that this map is made, it's very thin on the sides, and I don't think you can get away from those monsters, I'm afraid.
And here we go. He's choosing the castle first, and this is really going to make Amesy think, I think. Seeing these elite cannons hit that castle from that sort of range, he's going to know he's in trouble.
Yeah, and the only unit he could really fight them with is his bombard cannons or his own ships, and unfortunately it doesn't look like he has access to either right now, so I don't really see a way for Amesy to deal with this.
Let's see how K1 and Abu are getting on with K1's push here. Looks like that forward castle might go down. K1's got quite a few villagers on it, trying to keep it up.
So we've got hand cannons from Abu, which I'm not so sure about that choice. If you're fighting against Jerry's and Lycab, but I think with the economy advantage he has, he might be okay. However, I would like to have seen maybe some Kamadran Persian crossbow, which are actually the ones that don't cost any gold, which would have been better against the light cab. But hand cannons would probably be fine.
It's definitely getting interested. A bit of battle there. Just quickly before we go back to that battle, one thing that you said right at the start, capturing that middle bit there. Why do you think no one's done it yet? Do you just feel, have they forgot? Do you think there's just no real need yet?
I think the resources on the rest of the map are actually pretty sufficient. I think this only takes into account quite sort of a late game scenario.
Yeah.
But also, there's no way that K1 and Amesy can get to the middle right now. So I think Abu and Random Ketchum have got it in the back of their mind. They can move there when they run out of coal. And I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
If we just go back to K1 fight.
Yeah, go back to the action up there. Yeah, 100%.
K1's actually adding in Condottiero, which are going to do really well against those hand cannons. And that's why I was a bit worried about Abu adding in hand cannons against Italians, which is always something to bear in the back of your mind. And this fight's going to be really, really important. If these condos can get in, kill the bombard cannons, this could be really, really good for K1. So, Stuart, who's going to win this fight?
Fantastic. Well, at the moment, I mean, I think it's looking like K1's got the push here. I mean, he's got the trebs backing it up. They're going to drop that castle in no time at all, right, with 4 trebs. I think once that's down, he's in. He's going to be in. He's going to be in.
He's looking for a really good fight for K1, and Stuart is K1 coming back from hell.
Sulla has seen it time and time again. Anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. Let's just quickly switch up and have a little look. Okay, looks like Random switching his attention to pushing K1 a little bit. And I think maybe Abu sort of reached out to him and said, hey, leave Amesy against the ropes up there. Come down and try and K1 from the back. And
I think K1's got a really strong push, but the Ketchup is doing some insane damage here. But K1's lucky because he's actually got a bit more depth in his base than Amesy does, and it looks like some of his eco is actually going to be untouched. So this could be really
do you know what? I think you're very right. I think it's pure unluck that Amesy has picked that. Has landed the thin strip there. And it's quite interesting actually, isn't it? Because if you look at the Abu and Random Ketchups, the amount of room they've got to play with. I think Team Whatever had the short straw.
Absolutely, it seems a bit unfair for the lower elo players, doesn't it? And this looks
Look at this,
looks really good for K1. Wow.
This is phenomenal. Are we going to see these scorelines turn around in an instant?
Hey, and Mr. Stuart, look at the scores. K1 is really blasted ahead in the last few minutes, and he might be hitting top score very, very soon. Unbelievable. He's also denied that castle in the middle. That is really tough. And Abu is going for a castle near his second TC at the top of the screen right now. That's going to be a good castle. Is it going to hold against the Simon Forever? I don't think so. Even though they've got water control, there's nothing we can do about this push right now. And I think this is what we were talking about earlier, Stuart. This late game Italian army is really hard to deal with.
Yeah. Look at the resources, random ketchups floating. What do you make of that? You know, could he use that a bit more effectively? Should he be doing extra things with that, or is he right to sit on that at this sort of stage of the game?
I think Abu needs all the help he can get right now, and I think random ketchup needs to be supporting him with military, but also flinging him some gold as well. Yeah, Abu's on 12 gold, and he's got no villagers now. And actually, Eamsy is pushing back on land. Look at this. He's got perfect treb location on top of the hill. He's firing downhill, and I think he's going to lose that castle.
And he's got some units coming in.
And who do you prefer on land, Mr. Stuart? We've got Vikings or Lithuanians.
No comment. I think it's Lithuanians all day, surely, on land, right? You know.
I think it's going to be hard for him to break through that bottleneck on land. It's only a 3-tile gap, and if Ketchup can keep walling that. Oh, he's in. Wow.
He's going for a raid. Let's see how K1's getting back on. Oh my lord, look at this. This is unbelievable, Sulla. Yet again, whatever has...
I can barely believe this, Stuart. I thought this game was done. Yeah. But this is really, as Hypnos would say, an epic game.
Truly epic. The game just flipped. That comment is underrated.
So Abu has actually teched into Avalon. Unfortunately, that's just not going to work against the Genoese crossbow. If you guys don't know, the Genoese crossbow are actually doing extra damage against cavalry, and they're going to have that mini shield on the side. So Persians, they're really going to struggle against this position, and I'm worrying for Abu.
Let's just quickly switch back to the middle then, because here we go. Look, we've got some action in the middle, purely on gold.
So Ketchup has now moved to the middle, and I think he needs to move even more villagers now, and I think he needs to be slinging Abu. Abu still got nothing on gold, only 65 gold in the bank. Stuart, I don't think he's got the economy he needs to hold.
Sulla, it's back and forward. The bombard cannons are here. The cavaliers here. He's pushing him back. This is just fantastic. Yet another end-to-end game display from these teams.
I think K1 needs to get his crossbowman numbers up again.
We've got more raiding from Amesy. Great job from Amesy, this is, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
Sat in the corner, taking a beating. You know, and as soon as the pressure gets let off him, I mean, look at these. You know, he's pushing through. It's great play.
And maybe this is what we were talking about earlier with over-committing on water. We've got all these units sitting around doing nothing, and I think they really need to sort of reassess their military units, maybe delete some and replace them with land population.
Yeah.
And how is Random Ketchup going to deal with the stream of Lightus? I mean, one of the hardest units to deal with. Even pikemen can't really counter them because of the amount of damage that Lightus do.
Yeah, let me get that turned down, guys. Let's just get that. I do apologise, guys, with regards to that. Let me bring that right down for you. I did think that might have been a thing, so I do apologise about that. Let's go back to it now. Hopefully that should be a little bit better, guys.
could we just go to the bottom right? I can see that K1's DC in the bottom right is being attacked. Oh, it's still the cannon galleon. Sorry, I thought there was a
I don't think K1's got much to worry about from this side, right? You know, I mean, one thing, Sulla, I don't know if you would agree, but maybe, you know, if random ketchup popped a transport ship over here, maybe, you know, or up here, and got some land units made. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? You know, would it be a good idea?
Stuart, a great idea, but we've all been there. Great idea is really hard to put into practice when you're trying to do a million things at once.
That's it. That is it. That's it. Right, let me just turn this sound down a bit, guys. I want you to hear the comments and the casting. Obviously, especially with Sulla with us today as well. You know, a very experienced player, so it's always good to get their thoughts. So let me just turn this sound down a little bit more, because we all know what the horses sound like. We all know what the villagers sound like, and we all know what the destruction sounds like. So let's go back into game. Hopefully that's 10 times better for you. But thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that feedback.
Stuart, I'm just looking at this fight now. It seems a lot closer. We've got a big army here. Actually, we've got light cav, but look at the amount of resources that Abu's been selling just to get the gold necessary to build these cavaliers. Does he have resources to keep up this production? But K1 also, he's not going to have gold because he doesn't have access to the middle, that water control we were talking about before. Random Ketchup's going to have that gold for the rest of the game. He's going to be slinging Abu for the rest of the game. Is that going to allow him to win the game? I don't know, we'll see. But if K1 doesn't have the gold to produce their Genoese crossbowmen, it's going to be really hard for him.
Hopefully that is better, Elder. Please do let me know. That is down really low. I'm struggling to hear it myself now. So
I think K1's going to get in and kill those trebs. That could be huge. Are the pikemen going to clean it up? No, they're not. That's a big win for K1, but is K1 going to have the gold units? I'm not sure. I'm just looking at Ketchup's base right now, and there seems to be raiding going on there constantly. It seems like Eamsy's doing a pretty good job, and wow, that is looking a lot less populated than it was a few minutes ago.
I think he's being very relentless, that's right, and I'm not being funny, but all those idle villagers just sat there by the castle. You know, it really does make you ask the question of where is his attention right now?
Absolutely. Guys, I just want to quickly look at the overall picture for Vills and everything, so I just want to start with Lessthanthree. We've got Abu, he's got 135 villagers, which is perfect for this kind of game. 63 military, so he's maxed out, he's doing as well as he possibly could. We've got Random Ketchup with 76 villagers, so he's lost a lot recently. 43 military. Eamsy is actually down to 69 villagers and not looking so good for him. Just 6 military. And K1, 99 villagers, 28 military. So numbers are looking a lot more healthy for Lessthanthree. I was getting pumped up for this whatever comeback, but I think reality is setting in again, guys, and I can't understate how important the middle of this map is, and they've done a good job, and they're just going to have gold for the rest of the game. And can you fight gold units with non-gold units? It's hard for any player.
Yeah.
And look, he's pushed this all the way back, and
he has, hasn't he? I mean, you think about it. K1 was in his base, was raiding him. You know, the switch up is just fantastic from Abu, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the struggles with the Italian military is that they actually don't have halberdier, which is going to make it really hard for them to fight the Persians with all their cav.
Yeah.
If they don't have that Genoese crossbowmen, they're going to be at a big disadvantage. But K1 just doesn't have access to gold, and it's a shame because it was an epic push.
And I suppose that's the conversations internally that they're having, right?
It must be really demotivated for K1 because
he did
so much to get back in this game. And look at this raid, Mr. Stuart. He's got nothing at the back of his base, and it's not looking good for whatever.
I hate to say it, Sulla, but do you think it's going to be called? Do you think they're going to call it? I mean, look at the score difference now.
I'm looking at Eamsy's numbers as well.
He's pushing.
K1.
He's pushing now, isn't he, Eamsy? He's
Stuart, 68 villagers for Eamsy, 75, 74 for Mr. K1, and look at the numbers for the other team. It's looking a lot healthier. 82 military. for Mr. Abu, 82 military, Mr. Stuart. Can you do anything about this?
That's unbelievable, isn't it? I just can't see it. I can't see him pushing it back now. Like you say, he's not on gold. I mean, it must be hurting.
And Mr. Stuart, I gotta say,
GG, it's called. The GG's is called, ladies and gentlemen. K1 has called GG's.
Wow. What a game.
It's interesting. We've got here we go. We've got the GG called there. Lessthanthree 1-0 to Lessthanthree. Wow. What a game. What do we make of that?
I gotta say, Stuart, that I thought it was over in feudal. I mean, they had all the water control. They were ahead in population, and then the pushes started on both sides, didn't they? And because Lessthanthree had focused so much on the water, they didn't have any land military, and it really looked like K1 was going to get into the heart of Abu's economy.
Yeah.
And it was going to be ended. But I think Random Catch-Up's got to be given a lot of credit because he supported Abu economically for the whole game and allowed him to push back K1 until he ran out of gold. And it was just a great end-to-end game.
And let's be honest, and the water domination, guys, I mean, that is how you do it, right?
Absolutely.
No two ways about it. Rewind that, watch that back, when the stream ends, and just watch how they did it. But, absolute domination. Total domination from them. And I mean, look, you just look on the mini map here. You can see all the fish pods, right? Nothing at all around here. They had the lot of it. Wouldn't it be interesting to see the stats for food?
Do it. I think the really important stat here is to look at the gold and look at that gold income for
the difference.
Mr. Ketchup.
Yeah.
12,000 for Mr. Ketchup, 11,000 for Mr. Abu, and it's almost about 2/3 of the income for the other team, and I think that's why you've got a big win there. But another thing to focus on as well is that especially for Eamesy, he just didn't have the space for a farming economy. So even though he had great trash units in the Winged Hussar, he just never had the food eco to do the production that he needed because he just didn't have the space.
Yeah.
And you got to give Ketchup some credit for denying him that space in the first place.
Fantastic. What a game. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We've got match 2. You say round 2. Round 2 of match 15 is up. 1-0 to Lessthanthree. Stay tuned to see what happens. We're going to take a short break. We will be right back. Okay, Sulla. Sulla, are you back with me, buddy?
I'm always here for you, man.
You're always there for me. Good man, good man. Cool, we are live, back, ready to go then. So, here we go. So, round 2 of match 15. 1-0 to Lessthanthree3. Pressure's on.
It is, and I don't think K1 and EMZ should feel bad about their performance last game. It's a really hard map to play because they probably haven't played it before. The other team obviously prepared a strategy, and I thought they did really well considering they hadn't prepared and they didn't have a strategy. And actually, it was looking at one point that they might even win it. So they should take a lot of heart from that game, and I'm excited to see this game because now it's their map.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, at one point they looked like they was gonna win it, but I mean at one point they looked like they was gonna get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah,
at the start. So definitely credit where credit's due, and obviously credit to Abu and Random Catch Up. Clearly fantastic team play. Clearly well thought of, clearly rehearsed as well. And obviously we've got a really large Discord community. And again, if you're on Twitch now and you're watching us, please do check it out. The link's in the chat for that Discord channel. Come and join the community. So look, I'm on it most days. I haven't seen Abu and Random Catch Up playing 1v, practicing in a channel. So it's clearly happening behind the scenes, buddy.
I think we got to keep an eye on these two. I think.
Are the two favourites going to change? That's what we're going to find out. Right. Okay. So K1 and Ames's pick then. Team whatever. Their turn to pick the map. And it looks like they've gone for Arena.
Wow. Interesting. And I feel like we're going to see another really interesting strat here, Mr. Stuart.
It's going to be tough, right? I think it's their favourite map. They're pulling it out of the bag.
I actually, K1 always complains at me for playing Arena, so...
oh, okay.
I don't know. But let's get into it.
Should we get into it? Should we do it? Is everybody ready? Let's see. Come on, I want to see in the chat. Who do you think is going to win it? Are we going to see 3 games? Or are we going to see Lessthanthree3 clean up 2-0? Put it in the chat. Let's hear you. We're going to get this show on the road. Let's do it. And hopefully this time, Sulla, we don't get any issues with capture age and it goes straight in and we don't have to leave everyone hanging for 5 minutes. But let's crack on with it straight away and get it going.
I'm praying to the capture age gods right now.
Here we go. I'm excited.
Give me your wallalols.
Give me your wallalos. That's exactly it.
Stuart, I think if you do what you did before, close capture age now, and then
we'll just go into it. That's it. Yeah, let's do it that way. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
it heard. It heard me praying not to mess around. Look, and maybe that's what it was the first time. We just rushed it and didn't give it chance. We needed to treat it like a lady. That's what we needed to do. Not just turn it off and throw it away. Right, good stuff then. Let's go, Sulla. So let's start with the kind of leaders at the moment. Then Lessthanthree on 1-0 up. What's the civs? Let's run through the civs. So Random Catch Up. Britons,
so we've got Random Catch Up with Britons and Abu with Mongols. Now it's a bit of a weird civ choice for a team. Obviously, the Mongols' late game is orientated around the Mangadai, and the Britons' late game is either going to be longbow or arbalist. So it's two bow units, range units. And generally with the Mongols, you're going to have hussars at the front. With the Britons, you're going to have halbs at the front. But you don't have any super strong melee units, I should say. So interesting choice there. They will not be countered by siege though, usually like range units, because they're going to have the Mangadai to deal with them. However, I would have liked to have seen a more sort of melee orientated civ for sure. And actually K1 and EMZ have picked their civs sort of perfectly to deal with this combination. K1's got the Mongols, which, well, we know what K1 can do. With
Yeah, oh, we
in the
do
late game.
indeed, don't we? We do
And
indeed. Watch
hopefully-
those elite Mangudais come out. Yeah.
Hopefully, we're going to be seeing a bit of that. And Eamesy is gone with the Goths, and Goths not the best civ in terms of early game presence. We know that they don't get stone walls. We know that they don't have any amazing economy advantages. And Eamesy's boar there, not the best boar I've ever seen, but we'll let him off because I'm in the middle of discussing the civs.
You had to say it. You couldn't let it go. But listen, it's by the mill.
It's giving me pain.
It's right
giving
by
me
the
pain.
mill. So
that's true. That's true. We'll let him off.
Yeah, that's it.
But,
we're at 2 speed there. Let's just bring that to normal speed.
But if Eamesy gets to Huskarls in the late game, I think Abu and Ketchup are really going to struggle because they don't have the units to deal with that combination of Huskarl and Mangudai. So, Stuart, it's going to be one of those games.
It is it? Do you know what? I've got to say, Sulla, it's the last game we see with K1 playing Dave and the dog, it was Mongols and it was Goths.
It was.
And it was a 2-hour game.
Oh, man.
I hope you've all got your slippers on and your hot cocoa. We're in for a ride, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Abu and Ketchup are probably thinking now, I don't think we can let them get to late game. We got to do some damage to Eamesy. We got to prevent him from getting that Huskarl spam in late game. So I'm going to be interested to see if there's any earlier game aggression, or if they're just going to boom into the late game. Let's see, Stuart.
Let's see what happens.
What do you think K1 and Eamesy are thinking right now?
Well, I think that they're thinking let's play it tight, let's boom, and let's play the late game. And I've got to say that that's what they're thinking, just based on how they've played that before.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I'm just looking at the uptime. So Abu is going up on 24 with Mongols, which seems like quite a low villager amount maybe for Arena, but actually because they get the quicker hunt in, they can do that with their economy. And they're still going to have a perfectly good castle time. And we'll be seeing if Abu does any scouts to secure the relics. K1
very common, this, right?
Look at K1 and Abu's feudal time. Absolutely identical.
K1's slightly in front there by a second. But sort of talk this through. A lot of players do this, right? Delete the walls at the back of your arena match, arena base. I assume that's just for more room, right? More expansion.
Yeah, if some people get confused when they do that because there's always the assumption that if you lose your base, you can retreat behind them. But it's so you can have extra space to do your farms. So it's always worth doing. Just make sure you don't accidentally delete your front walls. Otherwise, it becomes Arabia, not Arena.
Yeah. Or a Ville. Or if you've got a Ville selected and you think you've selected the wall. Come on, let's be honest. It's happened to the best of us, right?
And actually, Mr. Stuart, Eamesy has gone up really early. He went up on 22 villages, and I just wonder what the reason for that was. I was expecting maybe some towers to come down, but
nothing yet.
How strange. Maybe he was expecting some sort of tower rush or something. I'm not quite sure.
Moonside28, welcome into the chat channel. We hope you're enjoying the game. So it's round 2 best of 3 quarterfinals. It's a Pangea 2v2 tourney with a really interesting prize for first and second place. We're at the quarterfinals now. This is match 15. Very good game. I'm not sure if you saw the first round. Very backwards and forwards. But all in all, very good game. Very good to watch, and some very strong players as well playing.
Definitely. I'm getting a bit worried for Eamesy's economy right now. Seems like he's going to be quite slow to castle age.
Okay, I mean,
hopefully no one takes advantage of that and drops a castle on him. But let's wait and see.
And I mean, what's the reason for that then? Why would he play it the way he's playing it now? Is it just to get a stronger boom, Sulla?
So generally, if you're going up just a feudal and not straight to castle in arena, it means you're going to go for a tower rush, which maybe like a novice player would seem a bit stupid. It's like, well, why would you make towers if the other player already has walls? But because people aren't expecting it, you can actually do some real damage to people's economy. And because people are automatically hemmed in their corner of the map, if you can take people off their key resources like their gold or perhaps their berries or maybe their stone, the damage you do can be well worth it.
Yeah.
And actually, we've got all the players. So K1's the first to Castle Age, and we've got the other 2 players on the other team going to Castle Age now. It doesn't look like Eamesy is going to be going to Castle Age yet, although he is on 30 villages. And Random Ketchup is actually following.
He's in, but he's in for his death though, right? I mean, clearly wasn't watching that and was just letting his scout follow there. I'm surprised we didn't get a 1-1 in the chat, an 11 laughing from Amesy there. Let's see what we got on. Harry Boy Sam, welcome in, buddy. Another member of Hermetica. They're a very good player himself, actually. And Han Sereno 769, welcome in. Don't forget to give the channel a follow, just to stay up to date with all the other casts that are going to be happening throughout the Pangea tourney. Yeah, what an exciting tourney it's been so far, and still lots of games to be played.
Mr. Stuart, I'm just looking at K1 and Abu's base. It looks like almost a mirror match of each other. We've got
it really does,
castles coming up for each of them. K1's actually on the extra TC right now, so...
So I've got to stop you here. I see something on the minimap moving across from Random Ketchup. It's a load of vills. What have we got happening here then? Are we going to see a castle drop?
Well, Eamsy's going to see it. He's got a scout placed in the correct position to see this.
Have we got any reaction?
I don't think he's gonna have anything to prevent it, and he's still 2 minutes off castle. I think this is gonna be a good castle drop, and there's nothing Eamsy can do to prevent it. Yeah, it's a good read by Ketchup. He knew that. Oh well, hopefully he knew that Eamsy didn't have any military.
He's tried to quick wall in there. He's missed it, but I mean, very good. Very good effort from Ketchup. I mean, the scout was no issue, right? You know, he's got loom already. There's a large number of them. The scout was never gonna take that on, no trouble at all. It looks like that castle's gonna go up nice and clean.
It'll be interesting to see what Random Ketchup does from this. Will he continue to push, or will he develop his economy at home?
Yeah. Abu's now got some manga dye out. K1 got some manga dye coming. I think we're going to see a big battle on this far side of the map here, Sulla.
I think K1 needs to defend Random Ketchup. Excuse me, he doesn't need to defend Random Ketchup, that's for sure. He needs to defend Eamsy. And it looks like Abu's bringing his military over to break into Eamsy's base. This is looking like a bad situation for Eamsy for sure. And yeah. K1, look, he's sending his manga dye over now.
And I mean, this is all also going to be putting K1 back, I suppose, having to come over and help. But look, it's what teammates are for. It's a team game. Remember, it's 2v2. It's, you know, he's got to come over and help here. Otherwise, Amesy's really going to be on the back foot. And obviously, as Goffs, like we said at the start, it's not ideal.
The castle will save him, but it's not really where you want to be placing your castle. So ideally, that castle would be covering some of his key resources. Currently, it's not covering either of his golds, nor is it covering the gold.
So maybe in the middle of the 2 golds there would have been the spot.
And Abu's going to be picking up some vills on the wood line, and it's looking really, really good for the other team already.
Not much in it from a score point of view. Let's let's see what happens. Second TC going up at the back on the wood line now from Amesy. Again, would you have put it there, or would you have put it?
It needs to be on one of the golds.
On one of the golds.
Otherwise, he's going to be constantly harassed by those longbowmen and those mangadai. And K1 can't stay there forever. He needs to win his side.
Exactly that. That's what I was just thinking now. So K1's got his second TC up, just putting down some more farms now. Still got these mangadaids. Well, no, it's actually switching to petards now, which is quite interesting. What's his thoughts with that, Sulla? Is he potentially, predicting a castle drop from Abu? What's your
Maybe
thoughts?
K1's
Why
thinking
petards?
Eames's in a bad position and he needs to do some damage. So you need 2 petards to get into the other opponent's base. 2 petards kill a wall. And look, he's going now. And Mr. Stuart, this could be very, very interesting. Is Abu expecting this? He's got all of his military. Where's Abu's military right now? Oh, it's in a perfect place. Is he going to spot the petards or is he going back to his base? He's patrolling them in front of his base. Oh,
so you
this
say
is an
these
important
petards
moment.
are for the wall?
Absolutely. He's going to be making a hole in his base and hopefully he's going to be running in. And actually, Abu's doing 2 petards as well. This is, wow. This is going to be a really important fight.
Let's keep it here for this because this is going to be interesting. Abu would have been alerted now to these Mangadais coming forward. He's taking them off patrol. He was going to follow his petards there, but he's decided to retreat back into the base. Obviously, K1 hasn't spotted these 2 cheeky chappies walking down.
The problem is if a hole is made but there's nothing to follow it up, it's... There you go. There goes the gate. K1's in. Is he going to find the damage? It
Ladies and gentlemen.
Like,
wow.
It doesn't. It looks like Abu's already walled off that side of his base.
Again, deleting the wall there, making use of the back of the space, and that's why we do it, right?
Wow, K1's gone for it, and that's going to take him off his primary goal at the back of his base. But is he going to lose those Mangadai in the back? Wow, it's a risky move. Is it going to pay off?
He's taking the Vils. I mean, look at the micro, look. You know, keeping out of the way of the TC fire there.
He's doing a lot of damage here.
Let's just quickly pop back. I'm going to assume Abu is going to. Oh, I thought he was going to try and make a way down to K1's base. Interesting. Look at this. Look at this sneaky. Got 2 petards sat by the wood line there. Definitely unnoticed by K1. Be interesting to see what they're going to do.
He's got the option here to mass at home and go and deal with his army in his base, or he could always go to K1's base. But I think he has to deal with his army in the back of his base.
I think so. I don't think K1's going to leave him alone here, is he? He's going to try and pop these easy target Vils. Let's just quickly see what's going on back on Random Ketchup and Amesy. Looks like Random Ketchup's being cheeky and just taking that gold there with that castle. Very common move on Arena, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Ideally, you would want that to be stone, so you could do another castle to disrupt the economy, but Eames is doing the right thing here. He's doing a second castle on his gold. I do worry about the villager, though.
And the TC.
So we've got Random Ketchup is on 70 Vils, and Eamesy is just on 60, so you would assume Ketchup with the better Civ economy as well is going to be an imp first.
Yeah.
And often in Arena, it's the first person with Trebs out, but we'll just see who's first imp.
Yep. And it's interesting if you look at K1 and Abu's matchup. I mean, Vil count 78 versus 61. Very even game, Sulla, so far. Very, very even.
Yeah, absolutely. K1 with the big Vil advantage here, actually, and this could be the important side because we all know if the higher elo player wins against the other high elo player, they're probably going to win the game.
Yeah.
And we know what Mongols can do in the late game. They're very, very hard to stop. Ketchup's done a good job so far. Will he have enough to stop K1 by himself? Probably not. So we need to see Abu make something work here because right now he's 15 mils behind.
What we got here then, a 4 castle going down from K1, looking to secure the resource here, the gold and the stone. Perfect placement, right? Perfect.
Sorry to interrupt you, Stuart, but we got K1 going up to Imp, and that's huge. First player to Imp. We're going to be having Trebs coming out with Mangadai. It's going to be brutal for Abu to hang on when those Trebs are up.
Hitting it at 30 minutes as well. It's a good time, right?
And wow, look at this, Mr. Stuart. Eamesy up to Imp as well. Who would have expected that?
Well, let's be honest. You know, maybe he was just building the stronger foundations for the boom. It's hard to commentate. It really is because of how much can change at such short time.
Looks like those Mangadai being cleaned up in the back now, but the damage is done. You can see in the Vil difference that K1 made a really good choice to do those petards and go into those base.
Yeah.
Will Abu be able to do the same now? It's going to be really hard with that forward castle.
It is indeed. Has he spotted it yet? That's the question. Has he seen it? I mean, he's still got his petard sat there, right?
I didn't know if you noticed earlier, Stuart, that Random Ketchup is actually taking into Long Swordsman. Now, as a Britain player, you may think that's a bit strange, but actually against Goths, that's your best option. So your champions are actually
Gonna shred the Huskaris, aren't they?
Yeah, generally they'll trade well against the Huskars. However, it's not really what you want to be teching into against the Mongols. So it might not work out in the late run so well.
Here we go then. Abu going for the push with the petards. He's got a lot of Mangonel behind him though. Mangonel behind him, sorry.
I'm afraid that I think K1's done a really good job here and spotted it. And look at those walls come down straight away. I mean, these are great reactions. And this is why these guys are 1700 elo.
That's it.
You don't see me reacting like this, guys, let me tell you.
Yes, you do, Sulla. We won't have none of that. We won't have none of that. Even I can wall like that. Come on. I mean, yeah, it's just fantastic, isn't it? Because it's not just all of the vills on one section of the wall. It was, you know, multiple vills building multiple sections of the walls. Great quick walling.
Mr. Stuart, I mean, look at it. He's dealt with the raid. He's got Trebs out. Abu has only just clicked to Imp, and we've already got Trebs on his castles. Abu doesn't have the military contend with him. We've got Elite Mangadai already in. Arguably the best unit in the game. And Abu is in a position where he's just got to stand and watch. Is he going to have the stone to repair this castle until he hits to Imp? I mean, I'll let the viewers make up their own mind.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really hard battle for Abu now. And credit where credit's due. K1 took a risk to go into Abu's base, and he's managed to turn this game around. And you know, credit, yeah, it was a great job. Eamesy hopefully is going to be getting out some Trebs now and pushing that castle. Ketchup also hasn't clicked to Imp yet, but his economy is really impressive. 102 villagers, and he's starting to produce long swordsmen as well. And there's the Imp click there.
Yeah.
So will Eamesy be able to trim these castles down before Ketchup's better economy hits in?
I mean, 57 farms.
Wow.
Completely untouched eco right there from Random Ketchup. I think we're in for a long ride.
Well, hold that thought. First cast from Abu goes down. We've still got a minute and 15 seconds until Abu can start producing his own Trebs. Can Abu afford to dive his remaining Mangadai? This is the other thing, Mr. Stuart. Once you start losing your castles as Mongols, you can't produce Mangadai anymore.
Yeah.
And what can a Mongol player without castles really do? It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, and he's trying to get another Mangadai out now, but with 3 Trebs pushing on it, with the elite Mangadais going against the wall, he's going to be in any minute. He really is. You know, he's really established to push forward. He's bringing up some stables forward now as well. I assume that's for some light cav to just run around and raid, perhaps.
I think he realizes that this castle is going down.
Here we go. We've got some action down with Amesy and Random Ketchup. Then let's see how we get on with Amesy with the 2 Trebs out. With a lot of Huskaris there. Let's see how they hold up.
It seems like Ketchup's going to win the fight. However, I think the castle will go down, but those Mangonels will probably take the Trebs with them.
Down goes the castle, but unfortunately Amesy just hasn't got the military to follow through with a push to try and clear that out as well. 3-4 barracks as well. I think these long swordmen are just going to get spammed here. You know, let's switch to the eco.
We got 120 villagers from Ketchup and just 78 from Eamesy, so it's going to be... I don't see a way that Eamesy comes back into this game without developing his economy a bit more, but now he's hemmed in. He's protected by the 2 castles for now.
What's the switch, sir? What's the switch to push it back? You know, you're in Amesy's position right now. What's the switch?
I think he needs to tech into the 2-handed swordsman and get them out as soon as possible, but right now the Ketchup is teching into 2-handed as well. And they're actually going to be better because the Britons have the last armor upgrade, and the Goths don't actually have that. And unless the Goths have the economy to take advantage of their better production, they're going to struggle. Which is why it's really important for K1 to win his side. So
and let's see how that's getting on now by switching back. It really does look like it's perched. Looks like we've got a mass migration here going on from Abu. Where is he running to? Is he running at? Is he going to run into random catch-ups, or is he just going to sit outside?
I think the problem is that Mr. K1 is going to have map control for the rest of the game, and I think we're going to see a bit of a Vil destruction here. Mr.
Are we
Stuart.
going to see an early GG? That is the question.
It depends how quickly random catch-up can win his side. But do you see
Look at K1 there using the scouts to block the exit there to create a bottleneck, and the Vils just get absolutely destroyed. I mean, look at this Vil count, ladies and gentlemen. 55, 54, 52, 50, 49. And I hate to say it, but Abu just gets completely wiped out of the game.
I think that's pretty much it for Abu. It doesn't look like the space in catch-up space to actually allow him to do a TC. Yes, he's got the TC on the outside, but Mr. K1's going to clean that up very, very soon.
Pushes down now. I mean, this is the question now, right? Is K1 going to push Random's base? Is K1 going to come into to Aimsy's base to try and help? I mean, surely the clear strat here would, I was going to say, push into Random's base. But he's not. He's choosing to go down and protect Aimsy there. I suppose it's not a bad shout, really.
No. And there's the GG. Mr. Stuart. And
We called it.
Wow.
We thought it was going to happen soon. Whether Abu was going to try and push back a little bit more, well, try and reboom a bit more, but yeah, I think, you know, maybe just looking at K1's score there, he's just totally run away with it.
Definitely, and because Ketchup was forced to tech into the swordsman line, he didn't have any of the upgrades he needed for the archer line, and he just didn't have the tools that he needed to fight off K1. But also look at K1's score; he's 4,000 in front of random Ketchup, so I don't think it would have been much of a contest. Great game by K1, and actually Eamsy held as long as he did because he had those castles in the correct places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because he was up to imp a little bit quicker, he got rid of Ketchup's castle on the outside of space, which means that Ketchup's trebs were so far away that he could destroy his base. So
100%.
You've got to give Eamsy some credit there. But look, K1 with Mongols, what can you do?
Well, he can't pick it again.
That's true.
And we're going to the final round. I think it's all to play for. And who gets to decide the map? It's the Wololo bot. Right, let's have a look at the stats then quickly. Sulla, I don't know if there's anything you wanna mention here. Just look at the time there, 40 minutes on Arena. Is that quick? Is it average? Is it?
It's on a 2v2. It's about average, I would say, because if you lose one of your teammates, then it's usually over.
They throw it in. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that Lessthanthree didn't have another go at rebooming. What have they got to lose? They're 1-0 up. Just try and drag it on a little bit more. Try and get them on the back foot again and a push. So an interesting GG, or?
I feel like it was probably over, but I know what you mean. I think sometimes you feel like we might as well play on, but you got to think K1 has all of the map control, and like I said before, random catch-up doesn't have any archer upgrades, so before he can even start making the units he needs to make, he's got to wait 5-10 minutes to do all the upgrades he needs to do.
And by the time that happens, K1's another forward castle, and yeah. That's it. Fantastic. All right, let's have a look at the statistics then with regards to what happened. Is there anything you want to focus on, Sulla, here in particular?
I think it's really important to note how far ahead K1 was from Abu in sort of late castle age with villagers. And it was just the imp time. Imperial, once castles are up, is so important because it's so difficult to push castles in castle age. Rams are just not the tool that you want to be using because they're so easily destroyed, even by villagers. So it's always worth bearing in mind when you're playing arena if my opponent has a castle up, I need to be focusing on my imp timing and
getting that castle
K1,
down. Yeah.
K1 playing it perfectly.
Yep. Okay, let's tick it up. It's 1-1. There it is, live and direct. The Hermetica clan. Pangea 2v2 Tourney. Next up, final round 3 of match 15. We'll be right back.
Website visitors bouncing? Stress less. Convert more.
about the match for the tournament, everything.
We are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in action. I hope you like the break music, trying to switch it up a little bit with the different soundtracks. Sulla, how are we, buddy? Are you hanging in there, Sulla?
I was muted. Yes, I'm very well. So how are you doing?
The famous microphone mute button. It happens all the time. Right, okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So, quarterfinals, Pangea Tourney, 2v2, best of 3, match 15. We've played the first 2 games, and the score is 1-1. It's anyone's game, Sulla, right?
Absolutely. And it didn't seem like K1 and Eamesy had this amazing plan on this game, or like this pre-planned plan as such on Arena, their home map. But they just sort of relied on their player skill to win it, and it turned out perfectly for them. And even though Ketchup played his side well, K1 just steamrolled, and we just saw what he could do with the late game Mongols. And yeah, it's 1-1.
And do you think that was planned, Sulla? I mean, was the conversation, between Aimsy and K1 pre-game, right, we're going to Arena, we're on the back foot, we're 1-0 down, we got to win this one. Aimsy, sit tight, get to Imp, I'm going to push Abu and hope for the best. I mean, do you think that's the conversation?
Well, the reason I know it's not is because there was a mistake. I think Eamesy went up to Feudal way too early, didn't do anything when he got to Feudal. Maybe he thought he was going to get tower rushed or something, and then he ended up being really late to Castle Age, which allowed Ketchup to go forward and do that castle drop.
Yeah.
So something actually might have gone wrong. So maybe we didn't even see the strategy that we thought we were going to, but
yeah,
I'm sure we will find out soon enough.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to get the after match comments from the guys. That's for sure, definitely. And maybe what we need to do moving forward then is, especially tense games like this, is after the stream, maybe get a couple of the players in, maybe one from each team or something like that, and we can have a chat and not necessarily interview them, but get their thoughts, right? Because it's a big part of it, hearing the thoughts from their side, from their perspective.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
100%. Okay, cool. Well, look, let's get cracking. Ravines. Tell me about it, Sulla.
You tell me about it, Stuart. Again, it's not
Are we going to hear the keyboard tapping away in the background this time? It's the only thing with the Wololo bot, right? We don't know until we use it. Interesting. So
it's been on the ranked queue a few times, although I must admit I've probably banned it every single time.
Okay.
But we've played it a few times, so it's a decently resourced map. So you're not going like a million miles to find loads of things, but you start on like a kind of your own little mound. Every player has their own little mound. There's scattered groups of trees, so you don't have like the reliable wood lines you might have on other maps. So that's going to allow other players to get in and raid. So that's always something that you need to focus on, especially in the early game. It's going to be quite hard to do like traditional walling that you might do on Arabia. So maybe players are going to go for the small wall instead, just to protect their wood lines. And also the map is quite scarce in gold and stone. There's also not that much wildlife, so you're not going to see loads of hunt that you might see on other maps. So that might change the kind of compositions that you often see on normal maps, maybe less gold heavy compositions. Yeah, so it's going to be quite
open map.
An open map, yeah, like I said, really hard to fully wall your base. But like I said, you start on that mound, and you're going to have to, when you add your extra TCs, it's going to be hard to fit it all in on that mound. So you're going to have to come down into the ravine and add your extra TC, and that's going to be an interesting point in the game, because if you get caught out doing that by the opponent and you lose your TC, that's going to set you back.
Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Let's get it loaded. We know what we've got to do is spectate CA this time. We just have to give it time. So we are going to sit here for 5 minutes whilst it's loading. Um, and we're not going to worry that it's all breaking down again. So we know what happens every time. It's no biggies at all. Perfect, good stuff.
I think another thing, Stuart, as well, your base is actually surrounded by outposts, if I remember correctly, and I hope I am right about this. So if I remember correctly, there's outposts all on the side of your little mound, and that's going to give you sort of warning to when these raids are coming in a bit earlier than usual. So it's quite nice for kind of lower elo players because you don't have to have insane reactions to kind of deal with these raids. However, it means that your raids are also going to be spotted earlier. So be interesting to see how the players react to that. Are they going to go for the outpost straight away, or are they just going to go straight in for the raid and ignore the outposts? It'll be interesting.
Interesting to see, definitely. Good stuff. All right, cool. It's all to play for then. Pangea 2v2 Tourney quarterfinals. It's the last round of the best of 3. So currently 1 point to Lessthanthree and 1 point to whatever. So once Capture Age lets us in, we will be away. We will be rocking and rolling. And here we go. Let's go.
Yes.
Sure, I'm just going to go through the civs very quickly. So on whatever side, we've got Eamesy with the Byzantines. I think that's one of his favorite civilizations. And K1 with the Franks, which is also one of his best civs. Now, Franks are pretty good on this map because it's an open map. Cav is very good. You're often going to be fighting downhill because of the mounds where your base is located. So scouts can use the extra speed to get uphill and fight downhill and do extra damage. So that's really nice for them. Byzantines is actually a great civ for this map because you get the free extra line of sight upgrades for your TC, which affects all your buildings, Town Watch and Town Patrol, and that's going to give you extra line of sight, which is going to make your general line of sight with your outposts amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good pick by both of those players.
Good stuff.
Catch up with the Portuguese. Portuguese recently buffed, so they're actually going to be getting extra wood.
Recently what? Sorry. Recently you said?
Recently buffed, so their civilization's been improved.
Okay.
So,
yeah. You hear about civilizations being nerfed, I think is the terminology. is that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, so nerfed is when a civ gets worse, but buffed is when a civ gets better.
Okay.
Yeah, when someone's like buff at the gym.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Portuguese actually get the now get an extra sort of addition to their civ bonuses. So whenever they send their villagers to collect berries, they're actually going to be collecting food and also wood. So it's really strong.
Yeah. Okay.
And
that's a little bit like the Poles collecting the gold when they mine stone.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Very similar. Okay, Abu.
And we got Abu with the Khmer, so we know
strong civ.
Definitely really strong in the late game, and they've got one of the best farming ecos in the game. They actually don't need to build mills. Their farmers just constantly collect food. Obviously, they need to build a mill to collect the food from the berries, but they don't need to be near a mill or a town centre to drop off the food for their farms. So
spam the farms away.
Exactly, and with interesting terrain like we have on this map, that farming bonus can come in real handy because building buildings can be really difficult on rocky terrain.
Yeah.
So I feel like all these civs are really well suited to this map.
Okay.
K1 is going to have a big advantage with the Franks in the early game. We'll see if he exploits that.
Yeah, that's exactly that. That was my next question then, Sulla. So, matched up against the civs, what have we got? Who are we pairing up? Is it a K1 Abu fight or is it a K1 random fight? An Amesy random or Amesy Abu, vice versa.
So we've got K1 next to Abu.
Yeah.
I think Abu's gonna have an uphill battle in Feudal Age. Obviously K1 with the higher elo, but also he's got Franks in Feudal, who are generally considered one of the best early game civs. Obviously with that extra HP on their scouts, without having to get bloodlines, and they're going to have the strong knights out early. They're also going to be able to drop that castle a bit earlier with their cheaper castle bonus. So we all know what Franks can do. The big advantage Khmer will have is in the late game, where they have a lot more options than the Franks, who are kind of stuck with producing paladins, even though Frank paladins are probably the best, or at least one of the best in the game. On the other side of things, we've got the Portuguese, who are really diverse civ. They can do archers, they can do infantry, they can do cavalry, gunpowder, they can do a bit of everything. Byzantines, very similar, can do a bit of everything, but we know that they can do a lot of very cheap units, like their skirmishers and their camels. So very even civ matchup, but I believe that K1 and Eamesy will have the advantage in the early game, and the Lessthanthree team will have the advantage in the
later game. Oh, so it's switching back then. It's going to be interesting. We're definitely in for a show, ladies and gentlemen. Last match again then. Last match of the best of 3 for match 15 in the Pangea 2v2 tourney. It's the quarter-finals, so these guys are both battling it out. This last game, it's going to be decided, all right? It's going to be decided, so stick around on the stream. Let us know your thoughts on the chat. We're going to have a winner moving into the semi-finals after the back of this. Who do you think it's going to be, chat? I want to know. I want to know. Put your team names in the chat now and let us know.
So K1, first hit Feudal. Abu was just a few seconds behind, and K1 has gone straight for a stable, which we all should have expected, and I suspect Abu is going to be doing exactly the same. Like I said, it's almost impossible to wall on this map, so I think the early engagements could be very, very brutal if the other player doesn't produce spearmen. And I really hope Abu is going to be doing some spearmen right now. It doesn't look like either player is doing any, so could have some very brutal early raids. And look at this, K1 is already fighting downhill with his Frank Scout. That's going to be really hard for Abu to deal with.
And it makes a difference, right? Uphill, downhill. You hear it all the time.
Definitely, and actually,
from the top of the hill. Fight from the top of the hill.
If you guys ever play this map, I really recommend the Tatars, because they do extra damage when they fight downhill. They also have a really good economy in the early game, so bear that civ in mind next time you play this map.
Wow. And what's K1's thought here with running these scouts away? You know, why hasn't he kept them in the base there?
Maybe he's heading over to the archer player. Maybe he's worried about
that.
A free boom all game. And actually, Ketchup has done a good job here, walling the back of his base. And it looks like he's secured a lot of his important resources at the back of his base.
Yeah, that's right.
Does he have a gold there, Mr. Stuart? He doesn't have a gold.
He does not. He does. He has gold next to his stone right there. That's definitely an interesting bit. But yeah, look, North Star in the chat. Welcome in, North Star. Pointing out there, K1 too strong with knights. You know, depends if Abu and Random can wall their wood. And look what they've done. Random has walled his wood. North Star, he was listening to you.
And it's actually Abu who has a completely open economy. You might have thought it would have been the other way around.
And we're surprised, right? Knowing he's sat next to K1, who's already making a well on the way of getting his walled base up there. You know, what's going through Abu's mind?
Maybe he thinks he can do some damage of his own, and he doesn't want to invest too much wood into walling his base. He's trying to get those farms down early. And can we just check how many farms Abu has, Mr. Stuart? So it looks like he's already got 11 farms down.
14, yeah, 14, yeah, that's it.
And that's pretty good for this moment in the game.
Stage of the game, 14 minutes in. Let's see if we've got any more action happening now. Just a couple of scout chases, I suppose. Abu trying to get a couple of veal kills there to compromise against what K1 did in his base. But I mean, K1's still there, right? He's trying to get that last veal. I think it was idle, as he's just following the other two guys around. Let's head over to Amesy's base. See what Amesy's up to at the moment, then, Sulla.
I'm just checking the vills for each player. We've got 30 on for K1, 29 for Amesy.
29 for Amesy.
29 for Abu, so doing fine considering the situation.
Yep.
And 26 for Ketchup. So Ketchup's actually falling behind. I don't think
Why would that be? As he's not actually lost any scouts. I mean, is it? I mean, look, he's pushing forward here with some archers and a spearman.
Could be good. It's quite small, so K1 can probably still take that fight with scouts, or if Eamesy has some scouts himself, he can probably take it. Maybe he was just so focused on doing those lovely walls, Mr. Stuart, that he forgot to make vills.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. But look, this is where it's come into it's come to his favour, right? He's walled off these wood vills, and he's prevented the raid from Eamesy there. So good play.
Definitely, it's working out well for him. I think Eamesy needs to move those to the berries, where there's still 5-6 villagers over there.
That's it. Just moving back down to K1 and Abu. Then want to try and keep a close eye on the two top elo players in this matchup, and battling it out there with the scouts.
Yeah, the problem is that I'm just checking the upgrades for each player. I don't think Abu has any upgrades for his scouts yet, and we know that the Frank scouts have more HP just as standard, and he's actually getting the armor upgrade now, so they're going to be a lot better than Abu's scouts in a one-on-one battle.
Bloodlines coming in for Abu then.
Ooh, very nice. I mean, that is going to switch it up, but it is quite an expensive upgrade. It is going to set his fuel time back a bit, although they are both on 36 villagers, so he shouldn't be too far behind in economy.
Very evenly matched, these two players, aren't they? Very evenly matched.
Yes, definitely. I'm just checking Abu's food count. He's already got 20 on food, and that food income looks very, very healthy. K1's sitting on 18 on food, so
I think it's just random ketchup that's a bit behind here on the veal count.
Yeah, definitely. Eamesy's economy is looking very healthy as well. Actually, 20 on food, and already a good amount on gold as well. Could be very close to clicking up to castle, Mr. Stuart.
Could be indeed. Let's go. In the meantime, he's in. He's in the wood line. Random ketchup hasn't spotted it. He hasn't quick walled behind the palisades there, and it looks like he's going to lose a few vills, Sulla.
He's only just reacted to it. He's already lost a vill. He's going to lose 2 more now.
And he's already got the lowest amount of vill count. This isn't looking good for these guys here.
And this is the problem, is when you wall a section of your map like that, you're almost trapping your villagers in as well. So you really got to pay attention. This could be a very big fight, Mr. Stuart.
This could. Glad we picked this one back up on the mini map there.
And actually,
K1 doesn't want to take it, right? He's trying to lure them into that TC so the TC can help.
We've also got Random Ketchup's army over here as well, so it's not a fight K1 can win, especially if he's fighting uphill as well.
That's it. He's probably asking Eamesy to do something about it. Looks like Eamesy's going to be reacting and going over to Abu here. Obviously, open eco, like you pointed out earlier, that could be quite dangerous for him, with no defence in his base whatsoever.
I think K1 needs to make some more military here to defend, or maybe a tower. If they find his wood line right now, there's nothing he can do to stop it.
Oh, this is getting intense, isn't it?
Yeah, and remember, those Abu scouts, they've got bloodlines as well.
There we go. They've hidden in the houses. They've hidden in the houses. Your wish has come true, North Star.
There's a lot of damage here, but is it less damage? We're just looking at the vill count, 41 for K1. Random Ketchup's on 33. Abu's got the most on 43. It's wow, and that tower on the wood.
Look at the score, Sulla. It's so even.
Wow,
so even right now.
Those archers are going to be impossible for K1 to deal with, and is Eamesy's raid going to do enough damage to prevent all the damage that's happening to K1 right now?
Well, it looks like Abu's he's countered it.
He's going to clean that up.
He's going to clean that up indeed. The question is, has Eamesy got any more backed up or ready to come over? It's not looking like he has. He's just popped down a stable there, so I think he's realised he needs to get more military units up there. I mean, what's the difference in military units? 11 to 41. That's not looking good at all, Sulla.
No. He is in Castle Age, but at the moment I'm just looking at the military company. He doesn't actually have any military. He needs to be getting some sort of camels or knights over to K1's base right now, otherwise K1's going to be in big trouble. And actually Abu is only 1 minute and 15 seconds away from castle, and if Abu gets knights into K1's economy now, what can K1 do?
Exactly, and sort of correct me if I'm wrong, but right at the start of this particular match, this map match, did you not say that that Abu and Random have the late game civs?
Sorry, Stuart, can you say that one more time?
Am I right in thinking at the start of this particular matchup, you said that Abu and Random have the long game civs here?
Yes, absolutely. And
so the fact that they're putting the pressure on this early and they've got the long game civs, I mean, K1 and Amesy got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. And it just doesn't look K1 has the ability to go up to castle right now. He doesn't really have reliable gold access with those archers on the gold. His wood access is a bit compromised. He's had to build a tower. Is he even going to win this fight here? He might just win with that camel from Easy, and they're probably going to clean up those archers, but I'm just looking at K1's res now. He doesn't look like he's anywhere close to castle edge.
Looks like they might have cleaned that up, Sulla. But we've got knights coming over from Abu now.
Unless Eamsy's streaming in a lot of camels, I think he's really going to struggle. Just looking at catch-up's resources now, he's very close to castle age. So he's going to be like way quicker than K1.
You called the resources, you called the backup stream there from Amesy. Looks pretty strong. Got a nice stream of camels coming over. Are they going to do it?
I don't think it's going to be enough if Random Catch-Up sends over archers as well. He's probably going to stop making military now, although he does have 21 archers. I'm trying to find those archers, Mr. Stuart. Where are they?
Random Catch-Up's archers, they are all stacked up in his base, buddy.
Mr. Catch-Up needs to be sending them over right now. It could be a very different game.
That is a big mistake right there, isn't it? We see it plenty of times where people leave their army just sat there on idle. We've got camels running into an open eco here. It really does. I'm really getting the impression here Abu was all in.
The problem is the Khmer eco is very nice, and it looked like K1 was doing some decent eco damage, but it's nothing compared to what they just did to K1's base.
Yeah. Took him straight off the top spot in terms of vill count. Amesy's got the villager count at the minute with 51, with 9 in queue. Yes,
this is really true. I think Amesy's actually doing really well for himself. He's actually ahead of everyone with the vill count, but I think he needs to be adding some T-Seasons now, but not neglecting K1's position. K1's only just clicked up to castle age, but he needs help. But look, this is a great raid here. And
look at the score, Sulla. Constantly flipping back.
Yeah.
Constantly flipping back. Random catch-ups up to castle now. Got knights coming in here. Amesy's raiding there. It's definitely all to go for still here.
Absolutely. And I don't think Abu can actually engage this camel eye, but look at this. Eamsy's entire army is over there. And does he have anything to do with these crossbows? It doesn't look like it.
This is what Random Catch-Up was keeping that army in his base for then, Sulla. It wasn't it was an on-purpose idle. It wasn't a mistake. Now going for and raiding Amesy is if he can go in there and take him off of gold and food, those camels are going to stop coming, and if the camels stop coming, then they're back in trouble again, right?
Absolutely.
Although he's looking strong. He's looking strong, Sulla.
I don't think he has the units unless he starts producing knights now to deal with those archers. I mean, Ketchell's got 30 archers right now. Granted, 44 villagers isn't fantastic. It's the same as K1's, but there's nothing Eamsy can do right now to clean up that archer group. He is coming back with some camels now, but that's just not the numbers necessary that he needs. And hopefully he doesn't waste them on those archers.
Yeah, and we've got the camels coming up now.
Do it there. Oh no. That's just not the trade that you want to see.
He shouldn't have done it. We've
So
got camels
K1
coming back over to K1's base now, but it... Okay.
Just want to look back at Abu because he was quite far ahead at one point now. It looks like he's calmed down a bit. He is booming pretty hard though. 61 vills is the highest in the game. He's quite far ahead of K1 with vills. He's only got 8 knights though. Same as K1. K1 needs to do some damage now. He's also got the camels in support from Eamesy. If there's any time to do damage before his economy gets out of control, it's now. Random catch-ups attacking into ballistics. K1's got to go over with those knights because those camels are just not designed to deal with those archers. He's almost got the necessary numbers. There's actually a TC coming down, and is this going to be enough, Mr. Stuart? I think just about.
I think they've got them cleared. I mean, a lot of action going on the map right now, Sulla. It's quite tough to keep up, right? We've got action over at Abu's base. We've got a raid happening with from Amesy's camels there, and then we've also got action back over at Amesy's base. But I mean, that's just K1 clearing. So it looks like the team whatever has regained quite a bit of control.
It's very true. 20 vills. Excuse me, guys. 20 vills behind overall. It's a lot. It's not completely irrecoverable though. This map is really open. It's really easy to raid. Things can change very quickly, and whatever do have the mobility advantage. So don't count them out yet.
Okay, I'm just seeing some movement over on the mini-map over here, so we're going to go and check this out quickly, but it appears to me that K1 could be going to try and raid random Ketchup's base here with these knights. Obviously knowing that he's only producing the archers, he's got quite a good chance.
And it looks like there's a big gap in that formerly walled off area, and I think he's going to catch a lot of people here. A lot of villagers, excuse me.
Okay, one, just click in there, buddy. Just click in there, you can get round.
Stuart, can we just check the fight outside Abbey's
We sure
base?
can. Do apologise, guys. Here we go. Okay, cool. So,
yeah, it just seems like Abu can't engage against those camels quite yet, but great economy, 76 vills, still really far ahead of everyone else. Ketchup's on 77 as well, so...
And it's amazing because Ketchup was quite far behind on the vill count, only a short while ago.
Yeah, but he's up. He's got a castle at the back there. He's got 3 TCs. Blue, K1 is only on 2. Easy's just getting his third up now. I mean, we can tell what they're doing now. They're just pumping out those camels. They're pumping out those knights. I mean, they're doing a great job of idling these TCs. They need to be careful not to lose their military advantage, though. And look at the military from Lessthanthree right now. They've literally got half. Yes, they're 30 vills ahead, but these things can change very quickly.
Oh, they can flip a flip of a switch. You know, as we've seen, right? You know, only a short while ago it was Lessthanthree with double or triple the army to team whatever. It certainly has tipped back to their way now. Any more raids still happening at random catch-up? No, it looks like those knights have been pulled out. I can only assume to try and focus the energy on trying to wipe a boo.
I think the castle from random is very important. I'm just thinking. However, I would have liked to have seen it maybe secure some gold instead. Oh, it is securing gold.
Yeah, you've got gold and stone again there.
So and 4 wood lines as well. So a really good castle.
Really nice.
And it's going to give him a position where he's got like access to all the resources that he needs. But K1's still raiding.
I mean, look at the mini-map. You've got a flood of blue and red coming over. I mean, you know, at the moment, it really does look like K1 and Amesy have got a grip of the game right now.
Definitely, but the eco advantage is important. It is getting smaller though, so it's just a 20 vil difference now. It was 30 a few minutes ago, and almost double the just under double the military from whatever. And yeah, it's looking like a really good game, Stuart. We've been very lucky today.
We certainly have indeed, that's for sure.
I'm just looking at the reds, Mr. Stuart. Look at Eamesy's gold in the bank. He needs to be using that.
That's unbelievable.
If he sent that to K1 right now, I think we could be seeing a lot more knights than are currently on the field. So K1 is actually somehow K1 has overtaken Abu in Vills. He's now on 78, I believe. Abu
Really just shows what can happen when you get the TCs down, right?
62 villages Abu is on. That's about 15 lower than it was 5 minutes ago. I mean, these raids by K1 and Eamesy are just relentless. And
they are indeed. I think it's only Random Ketchup that's been allowed to kind of have any chance at booming. Didn't get the castle down, unfortunately. There, I think that was quite an important castle to get down.
But where else could he put the castle? It's right next to his TC, and it's still been denied. But Ketchup's coming over with the archers, and that's going to allow him to get it up. So that's really important. But I mean, we're down to 54 villages. Mr. Stuart, he's currently the lowest in the game, and just looking at the resources in the bank, he's got some wood, but everything else is looking pretty bad. But the problem is Ketchup's got a. There's just knights everywhere, man. Like, how do you deal with this?
Well, Abu's trying to sneak another little raid through the back door there onto K1's base. Looks like he's put him under a little bit of pressure there. You know, he was pulling his knights back, but he's decided that no, he should be able to take care of it. Whether or not that's because Aimsy sent over the camels to help or not.
So Eamesy is actually halfway to Imp, and I'm really surprised because generally you wouldn't go to Imp with just 70 villages if you were doing camels, but Byzantine camels are quite cheap. He's going to get heavy camel when he hits there. He's going to be really good against the knights. Not so great against the archers, but definitely helpful. I maybe would have liked Eamesy to have sort of 90 to 100 villages before he went for it, but if you can get a castle down now, get some traps out.
They've got the castle up. They've got the castle up. Sulla. It worked. The crossbowman saved the day, and they managed to get it up, which obviously is quite important. There, like you say, sat next to the TC. Still raids. Still raids.
It's actually Ketchup that's saving Abu now. So.
It is, isn't it? It's the lower reload saving the higher reload, and you know, I think this map should not be called Raisins, it should be called Raidings, because that's all we've seen on it so far. Would you agree?
Yeah, man. It's like I said at the start of this game, it's the wood lines are all over the place and there's just nowhere secure, but I think K1 needs to start being careful with his knight numbers. I don't know if he knows how far in front of Abu he is. He's not too far in front, but his resources are looking very similar. If he can get a better castle time and get Cavalier, it could be good.
I hate to say this, but I think we've got a castle drop coming from Aimsy. We've got to have a castle drop. We've got villagers coming forward. K1's kind of clearing the way with the knights here. This is an epic push here. Truly epic from Aimsy. I mean, very well played. Yeah,
man, this is... I would have liked to have seen the castle maybe a bit further in, so it could potentially raise PC, but it could be a lot worse.
So look at this. He's got camels sat in K1's base offering protection. He's doing a castle drop forward. He's got camels there protecting it. He's just letting K1 run around with the knights. I mean, this is teamwork at his ultimate's finest, surely.
Well, this is the thing, Stuart, and one thing I wanted to say at the end of this game, but I'll say it now, is that the reason I really like this set is because the lower elo players have contributed a lot. And, I mean, Random Ketchup's been protecting Abu all game, and Eamsy's got to Imp, he's protecting K1 as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting Trebs out in a sec. I mean, it's actually really nice to see.
Sulla, please just answer me one question. How has Lessthanthree3 still got score lead? How is it possible?
Well, I'm just looking at the eco difference. So Lessthanthree3 is still 30 villages ahead, and they've actually got the military advantage now as well. Can you believe it? Random Ketchup has 82 crossbows.
Unbelievable. And let's see what they're going to go and do now.
I would like to see him using those crossbows. I feel like if he goes to Eamsy's base now, there's not a lot he can do, but can he let Eamsy just push with the Trebs? It's not an easy decision to make.
Well, we're up to heavy camel riders now from Aimsy, and he's going to go in for a second raid against Abu. Abu wants to try and get a defensive castle down next to his TC just on the side of the hill. Has Aimsy spotted that yet? I think as soon as he does, he's going to be pushing for those vills, or is he just going to try and take this TC out with heavy camels? He's going to have a go.
I think the chance of that castle going up is very low.
Sulla, look at this.
Look
at this for Mamesy.
Guys, this is an 800 elo player dunking on a 1500 elo player. This is what we love to see.
In comes Random Ketchup to try and save the day here against these camels. Are the camels going to take the battle, or are they going to run, Sulla? What needs to happen?
I think if they can fight downhill, it could be a very good fight for Eamesy. I think he's going to go for it, and it looks good. Look at Random Ketchup's market abuse. This is disgusting.
I mean, which way do we go? You know, which way do we follow? Do we follow the camels? Do we follow the crossbowmen? I mean, he's still got 79, 83 crossbowmen.
But zero military from Abu, Mr. Stuart, and you can have the best economy in the world, but zero military is no help. And
especially if Amesy's going to run through with these camels and just take out the TCs. They're both at him now. You know, surely Lessthanthree3 are asking questions in their voice chat.
Absolutely, but I just want to go on to one thing here. I'm just looking at Abu. He's teching into the infantry armor upgrades. Now, that's really not what you want to be doing right now. You want to be getting into Cavalier with Khmer, or maybe even Elephants. K1, he's going to be teching into Cavalier, the +4 armor, conscription. This is what you love to see as Franks. And I think Ketchup needs to keep Abu alive longer. I just don't think pikemen are going to cut it. Maybe against the camels it's good as well, but you can't push with pike. Eames is actually teching into elite skirm, which is going to be really good against the archers and the pikemen. So, and remember with Byzantines they're 25 or maybe 35% cheaper, so it could be very nice.
A complete run through there. I love that with age. I love watching it when units do that. It just makes you think, do they just run past and go, all right, mate, how are you? You've got to ask yourself the question. Here we go then. I wonder if anything's going to be happening over here. We look like we've got a bit of a build-up going on, but to be honest, I think K1 spotted it.
Yeah, and those... oh, it's just one cavalier. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Hate to see it. Does Eamesy have some trebs pushing?
He does indeed. Onto K1's base. I mean, surely K1 needs to be doing something about this now with these 90 crossbowmen he's got massed up in his base. I mean, again, sort of the score's so close still. Very surprised to see it. I really am.
Look at this fight. Look at this surround, Mr. Stuart. This is that is a brutal surround. And this is just when Random's getting the Arbalist upgrade, Mr. Stewart. And
yeah.
He's
not
just
what he wanted.
20...
Not what he wanted. Abu's coming over with his pikemen now. You know, is it too little, too late?
I think it's still a very close game, but we've got two trebs firing downhill against this castle. Yes, they're going to clean up the Cavalier, but Eamesy's already massing skirmishers, which is going to be perfect against both of those units. And I think if this castle goes down, it's going to be very, very nice for whatever.
Okay, Abu's up to something over here on this right-hand side with a single treb and about 5 halberdiers now. He's just got the upgrades for them.
So
is that a distraction technique, do we think?
The problem is that with halbs he can defend against the knights, but it's not going to be enough against the throwing axeman as well. As soon as Mr. K1 starts hanging the throwing axeman as well, Abu needs to change up to another unit. But right now, he doesn't look like he's going to be adding anything else.
Oh, another forward castle coming down from K1 as well. Really applying the pressure now, these two. Really applying it. Amesy's doing a fantastic job over on his side there. Just destroying Random Ketchup, so it seems, at the moment. Abu sent his harbs over there to try and help. Just running into castle fire though. Meanwhile, K1's still applying the pressure onto Abu.
Yeah, it's. I think Abu needs to start adding in another unit. He can't just rely on help. It looks like K1's going to lose his. Excuse me. Eamsy's going to lose his Trebs on the other side. Ketchup still with 68 Arbalists, but Stuart, I just don't feel like we've seen the full effect of those Arbalists this game. I feel like if they were in someone else's base, could be very deadly. And actually, talking about that, I'm seeing
what is going on over here. That's right. We've got a bit of blue infestation, or teal infestation, shall we say, in Aimsy's base here. You know, is Aimsy going to be worried about it? I mean, he's done quite a bit of damage, but I mean, the scores are very even still.
Yeah, that's very true. I think Eamsy needs to send some skirmishers back to deal with this. He needs to get that castle up just so he can secure his base against other raids. But the other player, the Lessthanthree team, just don't have mobility right now. They're not going to be good for raiding for the rest of the game unless Abu starts adding in some other units. I'm just looking at the gold at the moment. Eamsy 0 on gold, K1 30 on gold, and then the other team only has 14 on gold between them. So gold advantage looking good for whatever right now.
He's got the throwing axeman working hard at it now, taking out these harbs, and it seems like a great composition, right?
It's the ideal Frank combination. If you can get to and here we come, Paladin upgrade, and this is when things get serious, Mr. Stuart. Paladin and throwing axeman is going to be very, very hard.
I mean, right, Sulla, put yourself in Abu's shoes now. You know, not only what you're thinking, but what's your strategy from here? You know, you're seeing what K1's doing, you're seeing what Aimsy's doing. You know, the guy who's just supported you is slowly being, you know, pushed back. What options have they got?
Well, Halb seems like a good reaction, but if the Frank castles stay up and they can produce some throwing axemen, it's not going to be enough. No. I would like to see some ballista elephants. That would be very, very nice against all the units being produced now. They're also really nice for defending, but they are very gold intensive. And right now, Abu's got 130 gold. It's just not enough.
No, and he's only got 12 on gold as well. And you know, is it safe to say that the gold resource on the map is slowly starting to dwindle a bit? I mean, look, they're pushing into the back gold now.
It doesn't look like Abu's access to gold is really
well,
there.
I assume he can't spot that at the moment.
Can you turn the fog of war and see if he sees it?
Oh, which one is that? That is this one here. He cannot see it.
Oh man, that's brutal. But we've all done it, boys.
We all have, yeah. You must have 100% exploration. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, a bit more gold forward there as well. So yeah, look, there's still some gold on the map. Is there enough to do what you said though? Fully, it's hard to see it. You know, is that why he's focusing on getting all these harbs out?
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see from K1 is actually some bombard cannons. Could be very nice against the Trebs. He's going to be having a really hard time here because he's actually fighting uphill. And actually Eamsy's castle still hasn't gone up, and
it looks to me like Aimsy's trying to build a counter at the back of his base, which is pretty good going, pretty well thought of and decent there. So he should be able to take the blasters out that are not really posing any threat. Let's be honest. I think Random Ketchup could probably do a little bit more with that. I think he's probably too more focused on this push that's happening here with the camels being massed there. But just coming back to K1 and Abu. The R-Blasters are doing a bit of work here, Sulla.
Yep, I mean, he does have 80 of them, so not an engagement you want to be taking, regardless of what unit you have. I think this is why the bombard cannons would be really nice, because they're all bunched up, the bombard cannons can do work. Guys, there's actually one thing I want to look at here, because we all do it unintentionally. I'm just looking at Eamsy's military queue here. He's got 65 skirms in the queue now. Think of all those resources that are being used for absolutely nothing, and actually Abu's doing the same thing with the halves in his queue. Eamsy can just take off some of the halves, some of the skirmishers there. He could use the resources for something else. But
and just to touch on that, Sulla, just to touch on that and utilise your experience and knowledge of the game, what would you do with it then?
Well, I'm just looking at the upgrades right now. Eamsy hasn't got a bracer. He hasn't got the last archer upgrade. These are really sort of. Oh, he's just got it now. He hasn't got the last archer armor upgrade. These are really important upgrades. And also, I'm just looking at his food income. He's only got 12 on food. I mean, ideally, on sort of 40. So these are just things that sometimes it's worth just stopping, looking at your production queue and going, okay, I need to sort this out. And
do I need that many in there? Yeah. So I hate to stop you there, buddy, but we've got another big push happening, and obviously this is very interesting and fascinating to see because it's been K1 pushing Abu, pretty much the majority of the second half of this game, should we say? And it looks like they're pushing them back again.
Yeah, it could be very nice.
Aimsy's coming in for the raid round the back of Random with those camels there. You know, and look, whatever are taking the score lead, and it looks like they're slowly starting to run away with it. But look, it's not easy for them at all, and they're certainly having to work for it.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at this fight now. Looks like this Halb numbers are insane. He's going to be pushed away. Looks like K1 needs to add sort of more of a dedicated unit to fight these Halbs, and that castle's really good. It's going to secure that stone.
Right.
But like these raids in the back of random catch of space, they're really nice.
I think he's got the half to deal with it there, though, so I don't think there's not too much to worry about for Random catch up there. I think Aimsy's doing his best to make it happen. I mean, he's still got this push going on strong here as well, which is just great to see. Really good to see. Has he cleaned up the R-blasters in his base? Yes, we can say he has. He's done that quite nicely and efficiently.
I'm thinking about the very late game here because it looks like gold is going to basically run out in the next few minutes. Khmer very strong. They're obviously a great farming civ. They have fully upgraded Hussar, which is amazing. They've got the halberdier. Franks light cav is actually not as good as standard light cav. They do get Halb though. Their skirmisher is not so good. Byzantines, we know that they're trashing it, so really good. So I'm not sure who would win the trash late game.
Sulla, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Oh, the walls are coming down.
The walls are coming down. The markets have been built. These guys are setting up for trade.
These guys are one step ahead of me here.
These guys are setting up for trade, and we've seen whatever do trade before, and when they do trade, they do trade. No messing around at all. We don't see any signs of trade being thought of for Lessthanthree3. Still a bit of gold and stone on their map that they can get, but perhaps they haven't seen yet. But yeah, again, look, Team Whatever thinking ahead here.
But look at that castle from Eamsy in the north corner of the map, and that's just going to prevent any trade from happening. So, what can the other team do?
I think trade's better than no trade.
But what I'm saying is that they can't actually set up the trade because of Eam's castle in the north.
This one here.
Yeah.
And look, he already on it. Already got the trade running.
I mean, that's a lot to wall, Mr. Stuart. Are they even going to be able to wall the entire map?
It's we're certainly going to see. I think if Abu keeps up with this successful push, I think they need to, because these little bad boys here cost quite a bit of gold, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see many paladins for a while, that's for sure.
He's got 23 left on the field. He's trying to produce them, but look, the gold income's just not there. Abu is back up to 117 villagers, Sulla. Would you believe it?
No, he's done a good job.
All the way down to 58 now, back up to 117. He's matching K1's villager count. Random catch-up is on the lower amount. Aimsy with the most villagers at the moment with 118. Very impressive indeed.
Yeah, it's it's going to be, the thing with trade is a long-term investment. You're not going to see it kick in for a couple of minutes after you set it up. So we're not going to see the full extent of its effects for a few minutes. And until Random Catch-Up gets rid of those castles in the north from Eamesy, they're just not going to be able to set up trade.
Yep.
However, they need to deal with that push, and that is a ridiculously massive army.
That is an insane push happening right there. Look, how many 71 Harbideers we've got. I've got a funny feeling that, I mean, as soon as Abu sees this trade set up, surely they've got to focus on that, right? Because, you know, if they let that trade sort of get away with itself, it's going to be tough.
Absolutely. I think Eamesy's being very brave, fighting like Cav with skirmishers, but it's working out for him.
Well, I mean, if Random Catch-Up's just sending them 2 by 2, they're not going to be as tough to deal with. Here we go. Abu has spotted the trade, ladies and gentlemen. He is in on the trade. Surely he's going to be going after these trade carts. I mean, look, got a castle up there protecting that trade, so very well positioned with that one. So I think that's going to deal with it. But I think Abu's seen the trade, Sulla, and I think that's the key to it, right?
Yeah, that castle's perfect though. It's going to protect that section of the trade. And in a minute, when he starts getting the golden come, and he's going to start getting throwing axemen and paladins out, I think it's going to be fine. But Stuart, we've missed one thing. Look at Mr. Ketchup Vil count.
55 Vils. He has been raided.
Yeah.
Countless times though. I mean, look, we've covered it. We've covered it so many times. Unbelievable pressure from Amesy. I really do think Amesy is doing his job here by, you know, just letting K1 maybe 1v1 it rather than the 2v1. So look, the Twitch chat's kicking off a little bit with. You know, we've got a couple of comments here. Timberhog Vandy, if that's how you pronounce your name. I do apologise if I've got that wrong. I'm never good at that. Blue being behind on blacksmith upgrades is going to hurt versus the Halbs. I assume he's had his upgrades now. Sulla, is that right? Has K1 got his upgrades on his blacksmiths?
Actually, he's still missing a lot of upgrades. So yeah, it's a really good comment, and he'll need them for the throwing axemen. He's still missing the infantry upgrades and the attack upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah, well pointed out there, Timber. Thanks ever so much for that. Agrippa, oh my god, this game. Where are the skirms from K1? You know, again, another good point, right? Because don't the skirms take out the Harbs very easy? Or is the throwing axeman his turn to?
I think he's setting up the gold with the markets and the trade carts. I don't think he'll need the skirms, but maybe he could have added them as a little interim. But
yeah, okay. Any trade from Amesy. Amesy's got a couple of trade carts out there, but nothing like K1's trade. It always impresses me, this man's trade. You know, it really is inspiring to see that. Slap the markets down, spam the trade carts, because you're going to need them. As simple as that. Anything from Random Catch-Up and Abu now for trade. Still nothing being set up. You know, unless these couple of markets here or there. So we'll keep a close eye on them. But for now, Amesy is pushing deeper, pushing deeper and deeper. Sorry, Sulla, is this the side?
Yeah, if they set up markets, I mean they can't because Eamesy's army is in the way, so don't even bother
nothing
checking.
being set up that side. So unless they're going to do short trades, you know, trade's better than no trade, right?
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, and I'm going to say I don't see a way that Abu and Random win this game.
Oh, now that's quite a statement to make, Sulla.
And my reasoning for that is...
Yes, please do.
There's no way they can set up trade because of those castles in the north. It seems like Random Catch-Up's in a really bad position, 63 villagers. Abu doesn't have any way of making gold units. He's stuck on Halb forever. And K1 is just going to produce throwing axemen and siege, and unless he gets some insane raids in with those light cav, I don't see how they're going to do it.
You can't see how it's going to happen. I mean, he's pretty relentless on his castle deployment there, right? The positioning of the castles.
Yeah. It's going to take a while for him to push him back, that's for sure. I think we can sail in for a late one tonight, Mr. Stuart.
We're used to it with these with this team, with whatever.
Yeah.
It's no problem at all. I've got my slippers on. I'm being brought in copious amounts of hot chocolates. We can perch up for this one. Not a problem. Does K1 have bearded axe upgrade from North Star there?
I wish I even knew how to check.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can just click on it and it will say bearded axeman.
It will be the +1 range, which no, he doesn't. Oh, no.
Range 3+, yes, that's not +1. So no North Star, he does not. Yes, Rev Miracle, yes, Agrippa, you know, buddy. You know, you got to be prepared for these streams. They can go on for a while, but that's what we love. It's what we love about the game, right? Anything can happen from one side to another.
Eamsy's going to be taking to Halb now, and when he gets the Halb Scurb combo, I mean, Random Catchup's in a bad position as it is. How's he going to push it back now? 47 Skirms, 40 Halbs.
And the score is getting away from them now, isn't it? It's slowly climbing, and it's so good to see Amesy similar score to K1.
Yeah, man. What I've loved, I know I've said this already, but this series has been a real showcase for the lower elo players, and they, I mean, both of them catch up, and Amesy have played really well. So, yeah, credit to them. And we always love to see Skirms just kill everything, you know. Skirms counter everything, Stuart?
Yeah. Well, it's looking that way, mate. He's am I seeing this correctly? Amesy's Carbs Q right now is at 102.
It's just in case, you know.
Just in case. What was we talking about earlier? Do you really need them? Well, look, I'm not going to question it. You know what K1 and Amesy are doing right now, Sulla, is working.
Yeah, man, and the trade is killing it. I'm just checking the trade cards now. K1 up to 42 trade cards, so
it's just fantastic, and still nothing from Lessthanthree3. You know, are they going to look back at this particular game and sort of say we need a trade?
I think that's one of the only differences, really. You can see that Abu just can't do anything against K1's army right now. He's just slowly losing ground, and
okay.
But I feel that catch up. I mean, there's a bit of raiding, but I mean, look at the castle placements. They're everywhere. I mean, there's one thing on this map. There's not much gold, but there's a lot of stone. And I mean, you can see the ridiculous amount of castles on
really
this map.
helps slapping those castles down. And I mean, look, not just the castles, but look at the TCs. I mean, Amesy, how many TCs is this guy on? How many TCs has he got down? 8 TCs Amesy is on. 8 TCs, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's helping him, clearly.
I mean, these upgrades now are illustrating the gold problem for the other team. You know, Abu's been doing cavalry for the last, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. He's only just getting the last cavalry armor upgrade, and yeah, I mean, K1's been on Paladin for about 20 minutes, so this is the difference I'm talking about. Siege engineers coming in.
And this is the thing, right? With the amount of trade that whatever have got set up, it's, you know, these paladins are just going to keep coming, and you know, they've seen the trade. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen any more targeted raids to the trade. But you know, again, looking at these walls, can they? Well, they can certainly get through there.
They can, but when you have the military advantage and you have castles along the trade line, it's harder than it seems, and you also have to hold back the other army from pushing your base.
Yeah.
So, but I look, guys, I can't stress this enough. These two castles in the north teams have done such a good job. It really prevented Abu and Random from expanding, prevented them from getting markets down. Yeah, it's been a really good strategic play.
Yeah. Oh, Timberhog Vandy. There's Iron Casting coming in. He's happy. He's happy. We will let K1 know. Better late than never. 100% Rev. Very true, buddy.
I think if K1 is in this winner's interview, we will be asking him why he hates iron casting so much.
Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Agrippa, very true, amazing series, 100%. And guys, remember, it's not over. So if you're not following us, do follow us on Twitch. If you're not in the Discord, feel free to jump in the Discord. You know, it could be you next on this stream, playing against one of these legendary players, or any other of the legendary players in their Metka clan. You know, please do check us out.
I've just been. There's been so much going on in this game. There's so many things I haven't noticed. Just looking, K1 hasn't actually got Bowsaw yet, which is quite impressive. And actually, neither does Random Ketchup. So economies have been neglected this game.
Quite so, quite so. And not only that, apologies if we've missed action as well, guys. You know, trying to keep up with the white dots on this mini-map here. I mean, look, we've got Amesy attacking with Harbs here, we've got Amesy attacking with Harbs here, we've got, you know, the push happening from Amesy here. You know, it's all going on for Amesy right now. Yeah, is this K1 being pushed back again, or is this K1 just massing and going again?
You can defend the Harbs, but you can't attack. And yeah, they're gonna kill the Trebs. They're gonna delay K1 a bit, but he's gonna be back with a vengeance. And
with
like
Amesy pushing in from the north,
it just seems inevitable, doesn't it?
And look at the score now, Sulla. It's slowly drifting. It really feels like it's running away now for Abu and Random. And in a way, I feel quite sad for them, buddy, because I think they've played really well. I think they've given Amesy and K1, you know, Team Whatever, a real run for their money.
Absolutely, and there was a period in late feudal when Ketchup and Abu had their armies in K1's pace, and we were saying, wow, this is looking really bad for K1, and are they going to be able to come back from this? And you know, it could have gone either way. But Amesy came in with the camels, saved him, but even then they had a huge eco advantage. But the military production from K1 and Amesy was just absolutely insane in early Castle Age, and it's just been a great game to watch. But yeah, you're right. I mean, both teams have played well, and it's really sad to see Abu and Ketchup probably go out, because especially that first game as well, they've obviously planned, they've practiced, and
the first game was just outstanding, wasn't it? Let's be honest, you can't take that away from them right at the start there. Yeah, they really did look comfort. There was a part of it, Sulla, where I was sitting there thinking, wow, I might change my favourites. I might have to change my favourites. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Continual push by Amesy as well. I mean, Abu sending his Harbs up to help Amesy there. Look at the individual scores, Sulla. This is worth pointing out. Abu, quite a bit in front.
Apparently he's the top scorer, yeah, but it doesn't. I think it's just because there's a build count, but I mean, it's been dropping quite a lot. I don't know if he's deleting them, but I mean, Ketchup's half his score, and there's no golden gun, and look at the amount of map they're controlling now. It's about a fifth of the map, maybe. There's no room.
That really does paint a story, paint a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, just looking at the mini map, the saturation of blue and red versus teal and grey.
And I think we're going to be seeing the GG very, very shortly. There's just no siege on the map for Lessthanthree3. There's no way they can push this back. I think it's just them not wanting to give up. And I'm not gonna lie, Stuart, if I was in their position, I wouldn't want to give up either.
No, you'd fight to the very end. You're so right there. You know, going back to the siege part that you mentioned. I mean, Khmer, it's heavily reliant on siege, right? It's a real siege civ.
Yeah,
where
really
was
strong
it?
siege. We didn't really see the best of Khmer this game, and that's my main real criticism of Abu, even though he played a really good feudal, is that we just didn't really see what Khmer could do. We just saw kind of knights for a bit, and then nothing, and then just halbs. And I just would have loved to have seen something behind the halbs if that was Maybe Scorpion wasn't the best pick, but maybe Ballista Elephants or
something
maybe
like that
even
would have
some
been.
Harvest or something. I really don't know, but Halbs is just not enough to win you a game.
Well, Amesy seems to think so here, finishing it off with a big Halb off. We've got a Halb off with a Boo and an Amesy there. It's quite interesting. I think we know what's going to happen though. Look, they're just going to all mass up there, turn around and charge against Amesy. Are we going to see it? It'll be a fun little battle. Yeah, we are. Let's have a little zoom in, shall we? It's the Halb off between Amesy and Abu.
This is when, like, you see your local school at the park, you know?
Yeah. What parks do you go to, Sulla?
No, like when you're at school and you see. Oh god, yeah, that made my sound very weird there. Right,
No,
just
not at all. Not at all. They've pushed it back. They've done it. They've done it with the elite skirms coming in behind them as well. It's quite interesting how the halves have fallen. And yeah, look, there we go. Amesy chooses not to take the fight and just to run away with it. Let's see what else is going on then, because they are not giving up.
Is actually getting the Logistica tech, which is the trample damage for Cataphracts. If you can afford them, that would be amazing. That would end this game very quickly. But Cataphracts, one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive unit in the game to fully tech up to. But currently they're going to be countering absolutely everything that Abu and Ketchup are making. Will he have time to do it before the other team surrender? We will see.
Yeah.
There's so many castles in the map, Stuart, and I think this is really what's kind of laying the game.
Yeah.
Maybe the Abu and Ketchup think they can kind of get into the trade with Hussar. I mean, maybe there is a bit of hope, but I mean,
I suppose they're probably thinking that, like you say, they've got the castles, so they've got the protection towards their farms and their eco now. You know, do we see any massing anywhere? You know, is there any massing of troops? I mean, he's got into K1's base, and they're raiding the trade, Sulla.
But the Paladins are there. And
but this is for how long?
But look at that red stream in the northeast, just streaming into the top of random Ketchup's base. It's just going to be going on and on and on.
Fantastic. Smiley in the chat there. Yeah, you know how I felt playing versus Ketchup and Abu. Would love to get your thoughts on that, Smiley. If it was a tough game or not, I'm going to assume it was. Looking at how they're both playing, you know, even though they're on the back foot right now. I mean, the score difference, Sulla, you know, are they pulling it back? I mean, Abu, he's keeping that top score. You know, yes, it's slightly lower than what it was earlier, but again, it's still top score. 4.5k in it though, team score.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at Eamesy's villagers. It's kind of rubbish. 62 villagers. Maybe he's celebrating early. Maybe he's got the beers out earlier. I really don't know.
Exactly that. He's deleted a load of vills so that he can get more harbs. It was. Did you not see he was queuing 108 at one point?
Oh, he had to let. It's true. And now he's getting elite Cataphract, but he doesn't really have the economy to produce a lot of them. K1's actually adding in hand cannons now, which is very nice. Maybe not against the Hussar, but is good against the Halbs. But yeah, still, we've got 2 trebs for less than 3. Is that going to be enough for the 1 Gorillion castles on whatever's team?
It's been called. It's been called. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have our match 5 winner of the best of 3 with whatever leading 2-1. Congratulations, team whatever. What an absolutely fantastic game. Sulla,
wow.
What can we say?
I mean, first of all, I think like a genuine thanks to all the players. You guys all played amazingly. You, especially to the lower elo players, you played way above what we would consider average for your elos. So you should, like, even the losers, you guys less than 3, you should be really happy with your performance. And it's a shame we're losing you in the tournament, because that was definitely the best series in this tournament. today.
Yep.
And really great viewing for everyone on Twitch. And it's been a pleasure to stream with you, Mr. Stuart.
Yeah, definitely, Sulla. 100%. And look, let's not end it there for Lessthanthree3, right? One of the best things about the Hermetica clan and giving everybody a fighting chance and everybody an opportunity. The Pangea tournament, 2v2 tournament. You've got 2 runs, all right? You can lose. You've got an opportunity to basically play twice, to be able to lose twice. So what will happen now then is Lessthanthree3, as you'll know if you've been following the series so far, is they will be in the losers bracket now. So they will have a chance. Who knows? We could see whatever in Lessthanthree3 in the final. Who knows, Sulla? Who knows? But look, before we call it then, let's just quickly have a look at the statistics from this match.
Mr. Stuart, I'm going to let you go through those. I'm going to just quickly message K1 and Eamesy because it would be very nice to talk to them about how this game went.
Do you know what? That's perfect. I think the viewers on Twitch would also like either both of them or one of them to jump on most definitely and give their thoughts. I'm just gonna quickly chat to them. Sorry to cut you off. No, you're good. See if they can both come on. Definitely. I mean, look, one of the things that would be good to talk to them about is obviously
of the Devils. Here they are. Congrats,
welcome
guys.
in. There we go. K1 and Amesy, everybody. Team whatever.
Hello. How's it going?
Why is always our sets like this, man? Game
we were just saying, I mean, I know you guys are probably exhausted, but that was one of the best series, if not the best series of the tournament so far. So congrats to winning and also congrats to your opponents. We were just saying like how well you all played, and especially the lower elo players in each team. We thought you were like integral parts of every single game. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, hats off, definitely, 100%. And look, congratulations, guys, for winning. It was great games. We've got a couple of questions for you both. All right, some of them obviously serious, some of them are a little bit funny. All right, so we'll start off with the funny one, shall we? And K1, this is for you, and this is from a viewer in the chat actually. They wanted to know why was you so late on getting your blacksmith upgrades?
Oh, third game?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, whatever I say, it's a lie. I forgot. No, but okay. No. First of all, I don't believe the attack upgrades on cavalry line is that important, especially if you're low on gold. I always prefer to have a bit more army, especially this game that I was always low on all resources. So I was just spamming stuff. But at that point of the game, I 100% should have had it. Like, early imp is fine, but yeah, I forgot about it. Like after like 20 minutes into the imp, I think I looked at my blacksmith and I was like, why don't I have the attack coverage?
Yeah. A few people were saying in the chat, and I'm not gonna lie either. Me and Sulla, we didn't notice, did we, Sulla? It wasn't until someone pointed it out that you didn't, and it was a question that we had to ask. And all right, cool. Amesy, one for you, buddy, and it's just something that Sulla said, and I kind of want to steal his thunder on it. But these 2 castle positions at the north, fantastic.
Oh.
Absolutely fantastic placement.
Thank you very much.
You stopped the trade. Any deployment of trade there from Ketchup and Abu. They just weren't able to get the trade down, and we saw it. K1 as soon as you started putting those walls down, me and Sulla called it. We said, "Watch the trade coming," and out it popped. So yeah, Amesy, unbelievable play.
The thing is that my success is actually a lot down to the suggestions that K1 makes. Like we do work quite well together, since K1 likes to mention that I am probably the first person to mention about like doing trade and stuff like that. But there are so many things that you helped me out on. Because I mean, with that castle placement, I did ask him, where should I, like, I've got enough res to kind of go for a castle, and he said, yeah, go near random Ketchup. I said exactly where, and that's what he told me to do. So
yeah. Guys, teamwork, right?
Yeah,
and that's key, isn't it? Me and Sulla have said it loads of times. We've seen you two, in your own little voice channel, your private little voice channel, having your romantic dates for 2. But you're practicing and you're clearly talking strategies, you're clearly helping each other, and working together. And obviously, Amesy, you leveraging the knowledge that K1's got.
Yeah, definitely.
And it showed, guys. It showed. So congratulations, you've secured your place into the semi-finals. One more game to go, and you're in the finals.
I'm just going to pop in with 2 quick questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Bugger off. First one, in the first game, obviously they picked a bit of a weird map. First of all, had you guys ever played that? And secondly, I mean, we were almost calling the game at the end of Feudal when you lost water. We were thinking like, there's no way they can get back into this. And then K1, we saw this push from you, and you got into Abu's base, and we were thinking like, wow, are they really going to turn this around? Did you really think there was a chance that you were going to win that?
Okay, yeah. First question, I haven't played that map ever. So professional tournaments players, like the first game and the third game before, like after we found out what the map is, they told us what the map is. I left the lobby. I went into single player, and I put it on all visible, and I just checked the map to see what it even is.
Fantastic.
And yeah,
Very
even
nice.
though I didn't notice that like water units in Imp are that strong that they just destroy all of your eco. I didn't think that like they can take out all of our eco almost with just making ships. And about the pushback, like every 2 minutes, I was saying in the voice chat, "Why the fuck am I even pushing this back? Why are they letting us to even get to this point?"
Yeah.
It was like super weird for me that we could even push back. I thought we had it because Gray's eco was almost gone, but he either got slinged or it was because of the fish. I think he had a lot of fishing ships after the game I saw, so he just spammed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just spammed some light cap, and I knew that they're already in the middle of the map taking the gold. So as soon as I got pushed back, I was keep telling him it's GG. He was saying we can like try a bit more, like run some videos. I was like, dude, I can't run anywhere. There's no space on the map. There are like ships right next to my.
It was a tough map,
so,
K1. Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Sulla did, we did sort of point out as well that it looked like you guys had the short straw with the sides of that map as well. Because if you look back on that map, Abu and Random had a much greater distance between the tiles, between the coastline. So, not that you guys tried to obviously push them, with galleons on the water, but yeah, it kind of played into their hands being that side, I think.
I think considering you guys had probably never played it, I think you guys did pretty well considering the circumstances.
100%.
My last question is, in the third game, there was one moment where we were thinking that basically after the end of Feudal, Eamesy was into Castle first. K1, both of them were in your base and they had archers and scouts. And you'd had to do a tower on one of your wood lines and it was looking a bit dicey. And Eamesy actually, I maybe save you is a bit far, but the camels did a great job of pushing.
I was
scouts
dead.
out.
He saved me.
Yeah,
that's
and
not far.
what was the communication like between you at that point?
Okay,
Because I mean, that was a really crucial part of the game, if not the most important part of the game.
Yeah. So they got into my base, and I was honestly thinking about calling it, and then Imsy said I'm halfway Castle Age. And I told him, as soon as you get to Castle Age, drop 4 stables, just spam camels into my base.
Yeah.
He said, okay, he did the same, and then right after he killed their army, I said only raid Gray, because he was the knight player, and I knew his eco is good. So he just spammed camels into his base. Then the plan was me as a knight player go to Teal, because he was the archer player.
Yeah.
But I mean, credit to Abu, he played that perfectly. He added, I think, 5 or 6 TCs, something like that. And he got ballistics and botkin on his TCs. That was like the perfect defense, in my opinion. And that was why they didn't die to Imsy in Castle Age, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an insane save, Imsy. So you deserve a lot of credit there. I've got to go, guys, because I'm absolutely exhausted and my voice is
thanks ever so much for jumping in.
No.
Unbelievable again, yeah. Guys, great play, really good, really strong play. Can't wait to see your next set. Obviously, who you're facing is still to be decided. So hopefully see you there. But yeah, thanks ever so much. 10-10, unbelievable play. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and
Thanks
I think all the viewers did as well.
We'll have to practice for water maps, don't we?
Oh my god, yeah. We saw the water, and I just told him, we go on water, I make units. and he didn't want to make unit, so I just told him just fish and go kind of fast castle, try to push your side. And I don't expect us to win this game, so just don't think about it.
Yeah, and look, I think the last thing then is a message that we can leave everyone that's watching, or playing the game, or getting into it and trying to build up, and or playing as teams. I suppose this is probably more for a team game, but communication, right? Communication is key.
100%.
100%.
It's one thing that you've both turned around and said, in this interview. He said this to me. He said this to me. I said do this to him. I said, and it's just constant communication backwards and forwards. And if you can get that down to a T, you're going to play well. You're going to play well no matter what. But yeah, guys, thanks ever so much. Thanks for the games. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, make sure you're following the channel so that you know when the next games are on. We are streaming them all live from the Hermetica channel. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.